madness is officially here. Head to wingam.com and register to submit your Basketball Mayhem tournament bracket and compete against some of the biggest college basketball fans in the Dayton area. $100 in Frickers Bucks will be awarded to the Basketball Mayhem winner. Plus, you could win $1 million by filling out the perfect bracket. It's the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. Submit your tournament picks at wingam.com. Let the madness begin. The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Hang out with College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers every Monday at noon on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Justin Kinner with you here. St. Patrick's Day is coming up just around the corner, and we have the perfect event to help you kick off your St. Patty's Day morning. We're inviting you to join us Friday, March 17th at Community Golf Course for the Half K Draft Dash presented by Buckeye Vodka. Following the Half K Dash, stick around, enjoy some green beer, a breakfast buffet, plus you'll have opportunities to win tickets to see Blake Shelton, Taylor Swift, Cat Williams, plus we have a variety of gift cards we'll be giving away as well. It's the St. Patty's Day Half K Draft Dash presented by Buckeye Vodka. Register and get all the information that you are looking for at wingam.com. Bengals fans, Browns fans, Steelers fans, rejoice. Kinner and Kev live here on a Tuesday. Welcome in. 1410 ESPN Radio. So I thought today's show, Kev, was going to start out with us kind of just dragging our feet and kind of buying some time as we await to find out what the Ravens are going to do ahead of the deadline. The franchise tag deadline, of course, and yet they wasted no time. ESPN's Adam Schefter put out an update already regarding what the Ravens plan on doing with their quarterback, Lamar Jackson. The Ravens just sent a notice to the NFL Players Association that they placed the $32 million non-exclusive franchise tag on quarterback Lamar Jackson. Now, we knew they were going to place a tag on him heading into today. What we didn't know was which tag, because there's one tag that was going to put him in position to go explore other deals. Well, guess what? That's what this one is. So now Lamar Jackson, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, is allowed to negotiate with other teams, but the Ravens have the right to match any offer sheet that he signs or take 2 first-round picks in return for him. Now, with all of the drama, with all of the talk, Kev, with everything that's going on as far as, the Ravens are silly for doing this, I actually think at this stage of the negotiation that this is kind of the best case scenario for both sides. Lamar feels he is worth way more than what they've offered him. The Ravens feel that what they have offered him is more than fair. And now, guess what? It doesn't matter what you think, Kev. Now, that sounds mean, but it doesn't matter what I think. And I know our listeners, it always matters what you think. But guess what? It doesn't matter what the hell you guys think either. The only thing that matters is if one of the other 31 owners out there, right? Did I get that number right? 31?
Yeah.
30. Yeah. I should have just said it confidently and kept moving. But I started to doubt myself. All that matters is what just one of the other 31 owners in the National Football League think. Because it only takes one to tell Lamar, we got you, dude. We got you. I'm very curious to see what happens here, Kevin. I'm very glad we didn't have to wait long into the show to find out.
You know what? I spent a lot of time writing up this great outline for this whole Lamar Jackson thing last night. The wife was working late. You sent me some information for the show that we're going to be talking about. And then it just kind of had me going to another realm of thinking about this whole Lamar Jackson thing. So all of it goes to waste because now we got breaking news. But the crux of what I was going to talk about with this whole Lamar Jackson thing, we constantly talk about these last 2 years. Oh, he was hurt. He didn't finish the season. And it was partly about what you sent me yesterday about the Players Association's rankings of the teams. And the Ravens came in at 17, right smack dab in the middle. And we have this perception about teams like the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're well-run. They're a well-run organization. Well, well-run organizations don't fall smack dab in the middle. And the crux of the article basically was talking about their strength and conditioning program and their strength staff. and how many players were injured with the Baltimore Ravens, and the Baltimore Ravens players not having confidence in that strength staff and the medical staff to get them back on the field sooner rather than later. And all that kind of goes out the window because now the Baltimore Ravens have placed the non-exclusive tag on Lamar, so he's going to get a guaranteed $32 million if he signs it. Obviously, he's going to go out there and shop his talents to other teams, and we're going to ultimately see what happens with his contract and where he lands.
So if he signs it, that's what he gets paid this year. And let's be clear, Lamar Jackson's not going to get paid 32. You can think he's going to take what, 13 mil less than Daniel Jones this upcoming season? I mean, come on. I mean, the guy has standards. Let's be clear. Chad Kinzer on Facebook says, just logged on. What did I miss? Well, if there's many of you in the same boat as Mr. Chad here, ESPN's Adam Schefter just tweeted out at 3:03 on the dot earlier this afternoon that the Ravens sent the notice to the NFL Players Association that they did place the $32 million non-exclusive franchise tag on quarterback Lamar Jackson. The reason I love this one's the more entertaining of them. For a sports talk show, the fact that now Lamar gets to go out and date other people, if you will, I think this is fantastic. I think this is great because right now we're about to find out, like, okay, all of the reasons you feel that the Ravens should pay him, all of the reasons that I think that the Ravens should drag their feet a little as far as not diving in. We're about to find out which one of us is more on the right side as far as how the NFL works. Because like I said, opinions don't matter at this point because now the league is going to tell the Raven. Like, I think that's kind of like the league is the mediator here. I love this option. I don't know why. I think if I was a fan, I wouldn't. But as a sports talk show host for a quarterback that's not my quarterback,
right,
I find this very entertaining. It's almost like a game show.
This is exactly the same thing that the NBA has, and this is more kind of like an NBA thing because in the NBA, more of these free agents happen more frequently. Where like this happened with DeAndre Ayton last season. He signed an offer sheet with the Pacers. The Suns said, "Yeah, we can pay you that, fine," and they paid him that, and he's coming back to the Suns, and just like that, because you go out there, you see your market value. But I think we would be foolish to believe that he hasn't already gauged his market value with certain teams.
Yep.
So he kind of knows what's out there.
I mean, maybe. How does he do that though? If he is his mom at the combine?
Probably. I mean, do you have to be somewhere? I mean,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. You're right. I should have done. But
we got these little devices right here.
Because it's not tampering.
How much you want to give my boy?
But is that tampering?
I mean, you don't have an agent. It probably is.
That's
tampering.
What I meant by that. Is like, so that's why I said is his mom at the combine, because it's not a traditional agent. So
right.
So that's why I'm curious. Like, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he has been, that's technically tampering. But you know me. Rules are the rules. You know?
Well, as of 5 minutes ago, they can tamper all they want legally.
Tamp away at this point. But so like I said, Bengals fans, Steelers fans, Browns fans all rejoice in this, right? By the way, what's fascinating to me is all of us who are like, oh, the Ravens shouldn't pay him. He's this, he's that. But we're all happy that he's out of the league now. I've joked for a while. I've said, I hope no, and you know this. I've said I hope the Ravens pay him.
Right.
As a Browns fan, I want them to pay him because what we are watching the Bengals do with Joe Burrow on his rookie contract is maximizing the lightweight quarterback contract of the rookie deal. We've seen them maximize it. All right. The Steelers are about to, we're about to find out if they're able to maximize Kenny Pickett's rookie deal. Are they going to be aggressive in the free agent market with the extra money that they have? We don't know. But the one thing we do know is that the Ravens squandered and wasted. I think the Chargers have done a horrible job with Justin Herbert, but I don't think any team in the history of this current, agreement with how these contracts work has wasted a rookie quarterback. I mean, yeah, they got an MVP out of him, but so what? So what?
Yeah, that's more of a personal achievement than it is a team achievement.
Yeah, he did that. I mean, yeah, I guess you built the offense around him to start. You did the right things, but they've wasted so much. But as a Browns fan, I'm like, hey, I hope that they give him that max contract, that 50+ mil guaranteed. I hope it happens because they couldn't win with him when they had resources. Now we're supposed to fear a team that couldn't win with the flexibility of the rookie deal. Now I'm supposed to fear the Ravens with Lamar on a max contract. I don't fear that. But either way, it's a win-win. I've always felt this was a win-win. Either they're going to pay Lamar, they're not going to be able to win with him because they can't maximize their resources, or they're going to let Lamar go, and then we win from that perspective. Now we just got to hope Cleveland doesn't send our team to another city and then have to go through this all over again. So we'll see what happens.
I was on the other side. I was on the side of get him up out of here because an elite quarterback that he is, He's been able to win a ton of games with mediocre to good talent on the offensive side of the ball. So he's proven that. So just get him out of here. They can go ahead and restart. And something that we talked about maybe a week or so ago, we think that Bryce Young is going to be a great quarterback. We think Will Levis is going to be a good quarterback. We think CJ Stroud is going to be a quarterback. We know Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback. So now they're potentially are going to hit the reset button. They could potentially get 2 first-rounders, or they could re-sign him to a long-term deal, or they could match any offer out there. So that's still out there to be done for them. But me as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, get them out of here. Send them to the Falcons.
Deuces.
Get up out of here. Go to Atlanta, go to Miami, so I don't have to see you 2 times a year.
So with that being said, we are going to step away for a few moments. Coming up here on the other side, we will be joined by Bengals reporter Jay Morrison with The Athletic, because while the Ravens offseason is really, headline heavy, the Browns offseason is going to be headline heavy. Steelers will be active this offseason. What about the Bengals? Maybe is a quiet offseason a good thing for the Cincinnati Bengals? We're going to talk about that coming up when Jay Morrison covers the Bengals with The Athletic a week removed from the Combine. What were some of his big takeaways from last week's Combine with Cincinnati? And are they going to be noisy this offseason, or are they going to be the silent assassin sitting over there in the corner of the AFC North while everyone's kind of fighting for that next spot? We're going to talk about that with Jay. But something to keep in mind, Lamar and the Falcons are rumored to be that spot. I remember we had Jack Duffin on, the salary cap expert, with the 24/7 Sports, and with the Orange and Brown report, and he had mentioned that while everyone says, the only reason that Deshaun is a Cleveland Brown is because they offered guaranteed money, the Falcons were actually upset that they didn't get the chance to counter with that. They've publicly come out and said they would have given him that same contract, if not more, if it meant getting him there. They have a cash-rich owner as well, like the Browns. They were willing to get that done. There is a team out there that'll probably pull that trigger for Lamar Jackson. So keep that in mind. And Aaron Rodgers, apparently the Jets, they've sent, the head coach, the GM, they've sent a bunch of front office staff to meet with Aaron Rodgers today. Could we see Lamar and Aaron Rodgers, a new team, by the end of this week? Wow. It's going to be interesting nonetheless. But let's talk little Bengals. Jay Morrison, The Athletic, next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Our forecast says it will be partly cloudy and 26 tonight. Chance of rain and 47 tomorrow, mostly sunny, 51 for Thursday. I'm Rick Schrepp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Carol Wirtz Tire and Auto Service at 730 South Patterson in Dayton, where they treat every vehicle like their own and every customer like family. Online at c-wtire.com.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You just bought a home in the suburbs, but no one told you about all the birds, specifically this one, who seems to be calling out Roy. Roy. But who exactly is Roy? And why doesn't he ever respond? Maybe Roy is just bird speak for save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto. I guess until Roy answers, we'll never know. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
3 people you should be 100% certain about: your barber, your plumber, and your tax pro. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and you can be 100% certain about your taxes. We'll get you your maximum refund guaranteed, and we'll back your return for life. Don't be kind of certain or almost certain. Be 100% certain. Switch to Jackson Hewitt today and get 50% off tax prep. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Attention business owners, if you are hearing my voice and have 5 or more W-2 employees, you may be entitled to a tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. OhioRefund.com helped a business owner with 23 employees, and they received a refund of over $375,000. To check your company's eligibility to receive this government-approved program of up to $26,000 per employee, visit OhioRefund.com. We have already secured millions of dollars for businesses just like yours. At OhioRefund.com, you will find out with no cost up front how much money your company will receive. Even if you got PPP money, you can still qualify. This is a payroll tax refund program approved by the United States Treasury Department for any business who kept employees on payroll during the pandemic. Best of all, these funds do not have to be paid back. Do not miss the opportunity to claim up to $26,000 per employee. Visit OhioRefund.com. OhioRefund.com. That's OhioRefund.com.
Want to make tonight's dinner a perfect 10? Swing by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 10-piece strips meal for only $24.99. With 10 freshly marinated, honey-dipped premium tenderloins, 3 dipping sauces, 2 of our irresistible large sides, and 5 fluffy biscuits, it's family time made from scratch. Take home a top-notch dinner the whole family will love from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with our 10-piece strips meal for only $24.99. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Betting happens as fast as sports. And now every play is faster than ever before. You're on the edge of your seat until the moment when it's all on the line. Which is why it's important to pause before you play. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. So remember to set limits, know the risks, and pause before you play. To learn more, visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
The big hoopla events are back Sunday, March 12th, with a fun-filled day of events. The road starts at the University of Dayton softball fields with the 4-miler run at 9 a.m. Join us at noon for the free STEM challenge for K through 8th grade students at the Dayton Convention Center with hands-on exhibits and a basketball hotshot contest with prizes awarded. To register for the 4-miler and the STEM challenge, please visit DaytonHoopla.com.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Are you ready for tax season? Belmont Business Consultants and Tax Services is ready for you. If you want to come in person, it's a safe environment. Or you can just drop off. Belmont Tax also provides a completely virtual, secure client portal. For business or personal, if you want the accurate deductions you deserve, contact Belmont Tax in Dayton and Eaton. Go to BelmontBCTXS.com. BelmontBCTXS.com.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
O'Reilly. Protect your engine against sludge and wear with a synthetic oil change. O'Reilly Auto Parts has 5 parts of Number 1 full synthetic motor oil for $35.95. Plus, get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people can recommend the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towel, strain pans, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earn doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Happy St. Patrick's Day! Kick off your St. Patty's Day morning at Community Golf Course with the Half K Draft Dash presented by Buckeye Vodka on Friday, March 17th. To register and to find more information, visit wingam.com. The St. Patty's Day Half K Draft Dash presented by Buckeye Vodka, the spirit of Ohio.
Kenner and Cav back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. As I mentioned to open up the show, I kind of expected us to be dragging our feet, just continuously refreshing Twitter for an update on Lamar Jackson as the franchise tag deadline, of course, approached 4 o'clock. But a little after 3 o'clock is when we heard from ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting that, of course, the Ravens did, in fact, go ahead and, slap the franchise tag on him, the non-exclusive franchise. So now he gets to go out and date other teams, Kev.
Yeah, man.
See what see if the grass is greener out there. Actually, it doesn't matter if the grass is greener, but that money is going to be greener, and more.
Plentiful.
That's the plan. But I want to talk a little Cincinnati Bengals. Covers the Bengals for The Athletic. We got Jay Morrison hanging out with us here today. Jay, it's been a while, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Jay, we were joking a little bit ago that, it's interesting that, a lot of Browns fans, Steelers fans, Bengals fans, Lamar, don't pay him. He can't believe he wants that much money. You can't pay him that much money, but yet everyone is excited to potentially see him leave Baltimore. Obviously, he hasn't left Baltimore yet, but you covering this from afar, have we seen the last of Lamar versus the Bengals as far as him in a Ravens uniform?
I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. Well, they're not with them using the non-exclusive tag. Now it's open. Somebody can swoop in. If the Ravens are playing chicken, they can lose this because they are over the cap at this point. So if a team wants to swoop in and pay him the same or a little more and front load it with guaranteed money, they're stuck. There's nothing they can do, and they're going to basically just have to let him go to that team. They will get 2 first-round picks, but that offense, and I know they just hired a new offensive coordinator, but that offense was built around Lamar Jackson. They don't have a lot of wide receivers right now, so it could set them back. This is really interesting to see how this is going to play out, because I think Lamar's not happy about the situation as is. I kind of have a feeling getting the non-exclusive tag, he's going to take that a little personal.
Why? I mean, can you think of the last time a team we've thought we were close to seeing it with the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. I'd still take Lamar over Dak, but I can't think of a time where a team has just let a start in the NBA. I mean, you see in baseball from time to time, obviously much different structure over there, but the NBA and obviously the NFL, we just don't see often where these markets get these elite players and then just say, no, we'll just let them walk. I mean, this is kind of unprecedented watching what's happening in Baltimore.
Well, I mean, you see it with other positions, but you're right. You don't see it at quarterback. You keep the quarterback at all costs, and if you can't afford to keep Devontae Adams, you let him go. If you can't afford to keep Tyreek Hill, you let him go. But the quarterback is the most important position, really, in all of sports. And I'm with you. I don't know that we've ever seen this. Even Kirk Cousins has been tagged a few times, but it's never been that non-exclusive where they've kind of dared other teams to come in and pluck him. It seems really contentious, and you just wonder how, even if he stays in Baltimore, how is that relationship going to be repaired?
Jay, all this basically goes back to the Cincinnati Bengals because their quarterback, Joe Burrow, he's up next.
You would assume so, but there's 3. You also have Jalen Hurts. You have Justin Herbert. There's other quarterbacks from that 2020 class. Is that a game of chicken? Are they waiting each other out? Because you basically figure whoever signs last is going to each new contract kind of resets the market. I don't know if another team's going to pay if Burrow goes first. I don't know if the Chargers are going to top it for Herbert or the Eagles are going to top it for Hurts. But it is interesting. I think we've assumed this is a rubber stamp deal and it's going to happen. And kind of people thought it would happen before free agency, so they would know where they stood going into free agency. But an interesting point with the Burrow deal is whatever they give him in guaranteed money, they have to put in escrow. And that has to go into escrow as of the next March 31st. So if they wait till April 1st this year and give him, say, $200 million in guaranteed money, they don't have to put that money into escrow until March 31st of 2024. So I think you're going to see the Bengals wait past that March 31st date this year and kind of get another year of payment from Paycor and some more sponsors and get some more cash in hand to get the guaranteed money in escrow.
So myself included, for people that hear the term escrow, I really only see that term escrow when I pay my mortgage every month, and I still barely know what it means. What does that exactly mean?
Well, you have cash on hand. So if they say they're going to give Joe Burrow $200 million guaranteed, they have to prove they have $200 million guaranteed, and they put it in escrow. It's held, and that way you know that Joe Burrow is going to get it eventually. That's why, I mean, let's face it, that's why they took Mike Brown's father's name off the stadium. They had to come up with this cash, and just like you think with the Burrow contract, they're going to backload it a little bit. That cap hit's not going to be that big early on. The naming rights deal for Paycor was front loaded, so the bulk of whatever that final number was that Paycor paid to put their name on the stadium, most of that money is being paid in year one and year two with this whole Joe Burrow contract in mind.
Got it.
We have Jay Morrison of The Athletic, covers the Cincinnati Bengals. The timing with this Lamar Jackson drama in Baltimore, you go back to the timeline. And what's interesting about, real quick to tie this into Cincinnati a bit, like you brought it up a little bit ago, Jay, everything seems to be smooth sailing right now. Like all the, you have management, upper management saying all the right things about getting the deal done with Burrow and teammates. I'll talk about this deal getting done, but they did a little special this morning on the Ravens on Get Up, and they go back over the last couple of years, and everything started smooth in Baltimore as well. I'm not stirring the pot. I'm not saying this is going to happen in Cincinnati, but is that the vibe right now, that everything is smooth? I mean, you cover this team, you have these conversations. What's your gut telling you as far as how comfortable of a negotiation that this is going to be as far as Joe Burrow's camp working it out with Cincinnati and the Bengals front office?
Well, that's the key word right there, Joe Burrow's camp, because he has a camp. He has an agent. Lamar Jackson didn't have an agent. I think that's what blew this whole thing up. I think if he had an agent in his ear, he'd be like, look, this is you might think you're worth this much, or sometimes you got to take a little less. The Burrow thing, the Bengals have been structuring this going back to last year. They've been getting this all put in place. And then so when it gets to this point now where you really start negotiating, you're not talking about sides that are really far apart. They have a pretty good idea where they want to be. Burrow's camp has a good idea where they want to be. It's just going to be about the specifics of the deal. So I don't see Joe Burrow, not only say holding him hostage, but holding out and trying to nickel and dime him and get every little ounce out of this. You assume that he has this mindset of knowing that structuring it the right way is going to keep the core of this team together at least for a few more years. And it does just seem like I'd be stunned if we got to training camp and it's not done. And really, I think we're going to see that happen even before they break for the summer break.
So we get that a lot, Jay. Bengals fans will call in the discount. He's going to give him a discount. I know we had Keyshawn Johnson on a while back, and he was joking, saying, well, he's going to get a discount. Instead of, $50 million, he'll take $48 million or something. Like, he goes, there's your discount. But and that's not what you're saying. You're not saying discount, but you're just saying that it's not going to be that full out, like, this is my demands, this is what I want, it's take it or leave it, this is what I need. He's not going to nickel and dime him. What is it about Joe Burrow that you're getting that vibe that this isn't going to be a situation where it kind of ravels into, well, hey, Deshaun got this, Lamar's about to get this, Aaron Rodgers has this, Patrick Mahomes has that? What is it about this situation that you feel like it's not going to turn into that he's not going to nickel and dime them for every little thing? Is it just basically like what you said, the awareness of the situation with who he's playing for?
Maybe a little bit that, but it's just what you see with Joe Burrow. A lot of people say the most important thing is wins, and they mean after money. Mm-hmm. But with Joe Burrow, it really feels like winning is the most important thing, and he has an understanding and that if he structures this correctly, and it's not about what the total amount of money is, it's about how it's layered and guarantees and signing bonuses and all that. And if he wants to keep T. Higgins and Jamar Chase here and all the other pieces that they would like to keep, then he has the realization of how this needs to play out. And it's not either way, it's not going to be huge this year, and it's not going to be all that big next year. It's that third year. It's 2025 when then you see that annual, that salary for that particular season get up in the 30, 35 range, and then the hard decisions have to be made. So anybody that thinks that, as soon as he signs this massive deal this offseason, all of a sudden they're not going to be able to afford anybody, that's not the case. They're still going to be in pretty good shape to get pieces to keep the Super Bowl contending unit together for 2-3 years, and then it gets hard.
where there's smoke, there's fire. This Joe Mixon situation is interesting to me. I've been trying to, anytime a headline comes out about him right now, Jay, I always try to slow down a bit because every time something comes out, it's always retracted or, hey, maybe the headline was more aggressive than what's actually going on. But this is the second incident involving a firearm since the offseason started, and the offseason hasn't been that long. I don't know what all happened with this situation last night, and I'm really more so care about his future in Cincinnati as a Cincinnati Bengal. I thought his future was kind of in flux heading into the offseason. Are some of these offseason little hangups that he's finding himself in making it a little bit easier for the Bengals to move on from Joe Mixon?
Oh, yeah, I think it would make it easier. We still don't know about last night. I mean, all we know is something happened around his residence. And yes, there was a gun, but the injury of the teenager, we don't know that he was shot or he got hurt some other way. We don't know that Joe Mixon was the one that fired the gun. It's still that investigation is in its infancy. The other one is open. It's been about a month since they tabled it and wanted to go back in and reinvestigate and do it properly because they kind of botched it early. But yeah, it's just the whole perception is reality thing where even if he's not guilty of anything, these stories are out there, and it makes it easier. There's no way they're going to pay him $12.8 million this year. So it feels like the choices are going to go to him. They're going to say, we want you to take a pay cut. He's probably going to tell them to take a hike, and we're going to see them move on from him. And the real question here is, do these incidents affect him getting a job elsewhere? Because let's not forget the thing that happened right before he even came into the NFL at Oklahoma when he hit the woman. So a lot of red flags flying on the Joe Mixon mast right now, and it feels like his time in Cincinnati is done. Maybe in the NFL he's going to be untouchable after these.
With the Cincinnati Bengals draft pick, would they try to replace him with a young running back like Jahmyr Gibbs from Bama or Bijan Robinson from Texas? Would they go that route in the first round?
I'd be stunned if Bijan was there at 28. If he fell to them, I don't think they would hesitate to take him.
Yeah, I don't want that, Jay. I don't want that to happen. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm keeping an eye on that.
Oh yeah, and I don't think it should. But you look. I mean, their sweet spot for running backs recently has been second round. Mixon, whatever we just said about him, he's been a productive back. Giovanni Bernard was second round. Jeremy Hill was second round. I think not necessarily second round this year, but they're going to get a guy fairly early and maybe another one late and probably another one in undrafted free agency. You've seen that you can get these guys from anywhere and have them be productive. You look at the Super Bowl champs, they get Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round. You see this all the time where undrafted free agents come in and make an impact. You look at the Eagles, they're never paying second contracts to running backs, and they just load up that backfield with quality mid-range guys. So the bigger question here is, do they hold on to P. Ryan? Can they re-sign him? I think they will. And then you're going to see them throw various darts and try to find either a lead back or a complement to Samaje.
Jay Morrison with The Athletic covers the Cincinnati Bengals. Jay, we appreciate your time today. Just last thing on look, when the combine started, of course, all GMs and with the media scrums and everything, we heard obviously early on, but there was kind of a quiet combine for the Cincinnati Bengals. Is it going to be a quiet combine, or is it going to be a quiet offseason for the Cincinnati Bengals? It sounds like, or it appears like it's going to be a lot of just internal restructuring of stuff. Am I right in saying that? I mean, we've seen some exciting off seasons, a lot of spending over the last 2 or 3 years for the Bengals since drafting Joe Burrow. Is this, this offseason, even though they have a lot of cap space, how much of that do you see them really utilizing in the free agent market?
Yeah, they're gonna focus on bringing back their own guys like Mondale and Hayden Hurst and P. Ryan, and then you're talking third wave guys where you can kind of bolster the depth. I wouldn't be surprised. Next week, the tampering is Monday and Tuesday. The actual league year starts Wednesday. I would not be surprised if we do not see the Bengals sign any outside free agents next week, and then it's that following week when they're looking for the bargains. Let's not say scrap heap, but there's guys out there that are quality players that are not going to get what they thought they were going to get, and then maybe they are more than happy to take a couple million less per year to come to Cincinnati play with a team that has Joe Burrow and all these weapons.
Fair enough. Kev, you got anything else before we let Jay go? Didn't think so. Okay, cool. Jay, you the best. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know the last couple off seasons have been very busy for the Bengals, and I guess a quiet and boring off season is a good thing. That means there's not a whole lot of change, and when you're one play away from getting back to your second straight Super Bowl, not a whole lot of change is possibly a good thing. So, Jay, appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Later. All right, good stuff. Jay Morrison with the Cincinnati Bengals, covers the Bengals for The Athletic, giving us some time there. But yes, a lot to unpack there. Let's see, Joe Mixon. We'll get into that stuff on the other side. I think that his time in Cincinnati was done anyways. I just think that these kind of things that have happened, fair or not. I mean, people got mad at me for posting this. You need to wait till the facts come out. I've never seen people wait for the facts to come out, people. You guys crack me up because you guys only have that much patience when it's players on your team. Any other team, you're already throwing the book at them. It's unbelievable. But it doesn't matter. That's what Jay said. It's kind of whether it's fair or not, it's really not about whether he actually did this thing or not, or whether he was culpable, and it all perception's reality. And this is two incidences with Joe Mixon that involves a firearm within just a month and a half of one another. I mean, you can't tell me that it's nothing. People last time, this is a non-story. Any time that there is a gun involved with an athlete, it's a story. We're going to talk about that with John Morant coming up at the top of the hour. I mean, it's a story. Don't tell me it's not, but I think what it has done is it's going to make it a lot easier for the Bengals to justify it to their fan base that who was once one of the biggest fan favorites in Cincinnati is now an easy goodbye. We'll talk about that. But yeah, the Bengals offseason, I think it's going to be quiet. It's going to be boring. Jay kind of confirmed that. Talk about that when we come back. Kenner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
The back half of the NBA season is here, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scores and threes drained. Since apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I love working on my cars, but I wish I had more space for my shop.
Give General Steel a call. In business for over 30 years and with over 5,000 five-star customer reviews, General Steel can help with projects ranging from RV storage and garages to churches, workshops, and even major construction for Fortune 500 companies. And all General Steel custom buildings are backed by our 50-year warranty.
But that's got to cost a fortune.
Actually, General Steel buildings are more affordable than other building options. And thanks to our highly efficient construction, you can go from dreaming it to enjoying it in no time.
I need to give the General a call. How do I get more information?
Call 866-96-STEEL or visit mygeneralsteel.com to find out what General Steel can do for your home or business. That's 866-96-STEEL. Our team will answer your questions and offer you a customized quote. Just call 866-967-8335 now or mygeneralsteel.com.
Hey there, friends. Make 2023 the year you beat Vegas. Superbook Sports gives you the chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. No fancy computer algorithms, no guys across the pond setting lines for American sports. Just the best team of odds makers in the business behind the counter at the Superbook in Las Vegas. Plus, Superbook features some of the best odds boosts and promo bets anywhere. So download the Superbook Sports app or visit superbook.com and start your battle against Vegas right now. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Mueller.
I like to be active, and as you get older, I know it because I am older. You're more prone to injury, and I could not get rid of the pain.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson talking about how a hiking injury left her in awful pain.
No one wants to live in pain. I certainly don't want to live in pain. I don't have time for pain.
Diane had heard about regenerative medicine, so she called QC Kinetics and started treatment right away. And the results were incredible.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using natural biologics, healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. There's no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime.
The result was phenomenal. I mean, I was not feeling any pain. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, this may be the solution you're looking for. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
It was a game changer.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
The all-new Chevrolet of Troy is now open. What makes us different? We have a state-of-the-art dealership offering experienced service, parts, and body shop. In fact, we are the only dealership in Miami County with an on-site body shop. That makes it easy for you. With experienced, tenured professionals ready to answer your questions and diagnose your vehicle quickly and efficiently. Our priority is customer service. Make Chevrolet of Troy your first stop for service, parts, and body shop. 1375 South Market Street and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
College basketball frickin' heats up this year like never before. Frickers brings back a fan favorite, frickin' street tacos that add to the drama that the tournament provides. Frickin' chicken tacos, charbroiled chicken tacos, and Mississippi barbecue taco. Frickers also scores with a 48-ounce personal pitcher of ice-cold domestic draft beer for only $6.50 all the games. Frickin' street tacos, $6.50 personal pitchers, nowhere else but the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
With over 15 years of experience as your local lawn health provider, Lawn Plus knows what it takes to provide a thick, healthy lawn. We offer fertilization and weed control programs, aeration and seeding, as the best defense against weeds is a thick turf. If your current lawn care company is providing 6 to 8 applications, that is far too many. We offer the highest quality products and service to get the best results in just 4 applications a year. Call us today at 937-839-LAWN, and remember, if you give a weed an inch, it'll take a yard.
I'm Terry Krupp of Laird's Tax and Accounting, serving this area's tax and accounting needs for over 80 years. One of the most rewarding aspects of our jobs as tax preparers is that we have families that have used our services for generations. Laird's Tax and Accounting is a pioneer in our industry, being the first to offer new services. We stand behind your return if the IRS has questions. We know the tax code and can make the difficult task of making your tax filing easier. Relax. Contact us at 937-325-6571. Information at lairdstax.com.
The best audio entertainment is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more, all in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Kenner and Kev right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. You said you had a question about Lamar.
What teams should go after him? What 3 teams do you think should go after him?
Man.
And before you say that, yes, we know we don't know a lot of these teams' cap space.
Excuse me. How about, man, just looking around, Seattle would have been interesting. I do think Detroit is a wild card that I would be fascinated by. I think Detroit would be very
I know two people
interesting.
that work in our building that would love that.
Yeah. How about Washington would be? I mean, the one that makes the most sense is Atlanta, but Atlanta just came out and said that they are not going to pursue Lamar Jackson. That is wild to me.
I don't have one on, but Cap.
Well, so with that week you were out, we had Jack Duffin on.
Right.
Keep referencing that. That was a very good interview. Just again, the salary cap expert. I had a good 20, 25 minutes where we touched on everything you can imagine as far as how the salary cap impacts a lot of these offseason deals and yada, yada. But we were also talking about the Deshaun Watson deal in Cleveland, because I basically said, if Deshaun Watson doesn't go to Cleveland, is Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, is this contract done by now? And he said, absolutely. I said, even if it was another team that gave him the fully guaranteed money, he said, yes, this deal would be done by now. A lot of this has to do with the optics of a quarterback in the same division getting that money.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you want about the Browns, but I still do believe, I know you don't believe that they were that forward thinking, but I do believe that the chaos that they've created, it's a win-win. The Browns got their quarterback of the future, and they knocked off an MVP quarterback out of their division. And it's also making the Bengals' life hell. By the way, did you hear that from Jay Morrison? The Paycor money was done. The Paycor deal was done for this Joe Burrow contract, but the longer that it takes to get this Burrow deal done, that money's just sitting there. That money's just sitting there, and you're not touching it. But the owner doesn't have really any other money. I mean, he has his money coming in, but he doesn't have a pool of money to go. That's fascinating to me. That stuff, like, this is why the difference between rich and cash rich. But let me get back to my original point. The Falcons were brought up because I said, okay, would the Ravens and Lamar's deal be done if the Browns never gave the fully guaranteed money to Deshaun? He said yes. The second thing I said was, is the only reason Deshaun a Cleveland Brown is because they were the only ones to offer him guaranteed money? And he said they were not the only ones to offer him fully guaranteed money. The Falcons were also willing. The Browns just offered more. So you could say, oh, he's only there because of the money. Yes, but you guys also have tried to tell me that the Browns they are a joke of a franchise. They haven't done anything for me to say that they're not, but technically, until the Bengals win a Super Bowl, your franchise is still a joke as well. 2 years doesn't erase that, so let's be clear. However, he went to Cleveland. He's had nothing but great things to say about Cleveland. All his teammates love him in Cleveland. The coaches love him in Cleveland. Have you seen and heard how many free agents are saying how much they want to go to Cleveland and play there because Deshaun's there? Deshaun went to Cleveland, yes, because they offered him more money, but other teams were stepping up, willing to give him guaranteed money. This idea that the Browns are a joke of a franchise because they gave him guaranteed money, that's not necessarily the case. This is why, though, because Atlanta was willing to give him fully guaranteed money, and I'm not saying they're not willing to give Lamar, but the fact that they're not even pursuing Lamar,
right?
I don't know if it was a change of philosophy up top, just since that deal was made with the Browns or whatnot. I can't believe within a 5-minute period of when this deal was announced that the Ravens slapped the tag on Lamar, that the Falcons come out and say, "Now we good." You still don't believe in that fully. I mean, because there is another thing too. You don't think anyone's going to trade 2 first-round picks for him. There's teams willing to probably pay him, but they're not going to give up 2 first-round picks to get him. I mean, the Ravens, they don't have any leverage in this situation.
Yeah, it's very scary hours for the Ravens. I mean, we talked about it in the first segment. Like, we think that this player is going to be great. We think this quarterback is going to be great. We think this guy is going to be good. We know that Lamar Jackson is good. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, I got to do it. I
didn't even say Miami. I don't know why I was looking in the NFC. Shaw said the Rams. I know they have Stafford, but
yeah. But I mean,
send Stafford to Baltimore
right,
and let that be a bridge for a while.
Have fun. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, obviously he's from South Florida, the connection there. Obviously, I mean, what he does best is throw the deep ball. And you can't get any better deep ball catchers than Waddle and Tyreek Hill. They run the ball very well. That would be a great fit for Lamar Jackson. Obviously, I have no idea what their cap situation is. Don't care to look, to be perfectly honest. Then the second team that if I was in charge of would be the San Francisco 49ers. And if I'm Lamar Jackson, I got to be thinking about the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, we heard about Phillip Rivers calling the San Francisco 49ers because, hey, man, y'all plug and play over there. Like, dudes are butt naked wide open all the time. Everybody can play in this offense. So if you put Lamar Jackson in that offense where dudes are wide open all the time, that defense, they run a ton of bootlegs. And let's just say, for instance, hey, man, somebody actually going to guard Deebo Samuels. Oh, the running lane is wide open. I'll just run for 50 yards and pick up a whole bunch of yards and get out of bounds, which he does all the time. That's got to be a destination potential for him. And Atlanta is still there for me. But since Atlanta claims they're out of it, why not the New York Giants? Wouldn't you rather have Lamar Jackson over Danny Dimes?
Yeah, and they
If you're
love
gonna
giving out
pay-
bad contracts.
You're about to pay him $45 million. Wouldn't you rather pay Lamar Jackson $45 million over Danny Dimes?
So to chime in on that, you're willing to pay $45 million a year for Daniel Jones. I mean, not fully guaranteed, but there's some guaranteed money in there. I'd rather just up the ante to fully guaranteed money if that means going after Lamar Jackson. And Lamar in New York, look out. I mean, that's just it's from a marketing perspective. Now, someone just tweeted this out a little bit ago that, that feels like, this is what the Pro Football Focus and Mike Renner saying that it feels like the Ravens are just trolling Lamar by basically sending him out there to go, okay, go test. You have a 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
This is on Lamar. Like everyone's saying, by the way, the Ravens look foolish here. Let's be clear. Lamar refusing to get a real agent looks foolish right here, because now you got by yourself, you and your mom, good quality time in the vehicle together, driving from wherever, flying wherever. You got to go negotiate with all these teams by yourself, no real agent. He looks pretty foolish in this situation too. I mean, he may leave money on the table when it's all said and done in his pursuit of that big guaranteed contract. He's going to leave money on the table. It's one thing if you and your mom trying to work out an extension with your current team, but it is kind of ironic
you have that rapport with them already. You feel like they won't do you dirty because obviously they've drafted you and things of that nature. Yeah, you're right. My only rebuttal to that has been the same rebuttal that I've always had with Lamar Jackson. I think he should get an agent. It's worth the 3% to have professionals doing that. That's why we have professionals do our taxes. Shouts out to Michael Maxwell and the team over there at Air Tax Services. But what I'll say to that is they've had a plan for him in his career since he was in the 6th grade. They've been told, no, he should play wide receiver. No, he should play defensive back. He should come to Alabama and play safety. He should come to Florida State and play wide receiver. No, I'm a quarterback. Goes to Louisville, wins the Heisman Trophy, 1st round pick. Oh, he should switch to wide receiver in the NFL. He can't do this, can't do that. Wins an MVP. So at every turn, they've been right. They even dating back to high school, like, oh man, you should go to this private school. No, I'm gonna stay at my public high school, and they won a state championship. So at every turn, Lamar Jackson and his mom plan has worked out. Not saying it's gonna work out this time, but they have a track record of things working out.
This just seems a little different, though. It seems a little different, especially with the 1 week time frame.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
I
would get if I would have an agent because. I mean,
you fire your mom.
Fire. It's worth the 3% that you would give up. 100%. But I just, man, like you're looking at it from that perspective. But what if they hit the big one? You know what I'm saying? What if Atlanta, whomever the team that offers them a contract says $300 million guaranteed? Then what? Everybody's going to have their mom represent them.
I think they're hoping that if teams are that desperate to get Lamar, that you don't really need the agent at that point. I think the whole entire world knows what Lamar wants, kind of making it a little easy as far as that's concerned. But nonetheless, hearing a lot about Carolina. I think Brad Mays, what up, Brad? He goes, I think he goes to Carolina. Shaw says Carolina. Now, remember, we talked about earlier, cash-rich owners. There's not a lot of cash-rich owners. Carolina has a cash-rich owner.
Who's their head coach now? I'm drawing a blank.
Reich.
Yes.
Frank
Okay.
Reich.
Okay.
Sorry, we just had this conversation with a friend the other day. I couldn't think of who the hell their head coach was, but yes, offensive. I mean, interesting nonetheless. Look, he goes to the NFC, and I think, at the end of the day, too, going to the NFC is key because it sounds like Aaron Rodgers is as good as a Jets jet. So I don't know why I said Jets and then said jet. I mean, it doesn't matter. The point is, Aaron Rodgers on the way out of the NFC. NFC's up for grabs. Jalen Hurts, obviously, I think the top quarterback of the NFC. We'll see what ends up happening if Lamar ends up there as well. But nonetheless, Chad Kinster says they should hire Joey Votto's agent.
No, they should hire Kirk Cousins' agent.
Kirk Cousins' agent is
legendary, whoever he is.
Jared Mueller covers the Browns. He's going to join us coming up later on in the program. He's with, of course, SB Nation and Dawgs by Nature. So, again, he covers the Cleveland Browns. He was live at the Combine, or he was at the Combine all last week, and he had a lot of major takeaways, a lot of what he was hearing, the Browns' reputation, Kevin Stefanski's reputation and everything around the league, and Schwartz, the hiring of Schwartz it sent major shockwaves around the league, and a lot of key defensive players want to go there. How about the Eagles? I mean, right now it's almost 4. They're not going to franchise any of their key weapons on that defense. Fletcher, Cox, and Graham, and these other guys are going to be free agents. And all of those guys at the Combine last week, all linked to Cleveland. Doesn't mean Cleveland's landing all of them. other key takeaways are AB is going to be, very aggressive this upcoming offseason. But I want to talk to Jared. What does aggressive mean? Being aggressive means a lot of things, restructure. I said yesterday they could restructure up to $60 million. Jared Mueller in his report says, well, they're going to restructure as much as they can, but it's not like they're going to sit down with every player and restructure all at one time. They're going to restructure as need be. If you don't need to restructure Myles Garrett until next offseason to get some deals done, then it's almost like having that money in the bank a little bit to going to keep, working that. But I'm very curious to see what aggressive AB means for the Browns and the AFC North. And then is it smarter? Let me ask you this. Last thing as we close out this part of the show, but the Bengals standing pat and just focusing on keeping their current weapons, is that a good or a bad idea?
I like it.
And what I mean by that is not just, keep your own gut, but like nothing else. You're Jay Morrison, not really add any, they have $40 million cap space. They're not going to go after any major free agent out there. It sounds like they're just going to kind of focus on keeping as many of their current weapons as possible. What do you think about that?
I like it because, they have what they're betting on is what's the cornerback that got hurt for the season?
Awuzie.
They're counting on him coming back, and then obviously moving Eli to the other side, where she played better on the other side instead of being the number one corner. So they're rolling the dice to bring everybody back. But the problems, quote unquote, or the areas that they need help with, who's out there? Are you really about to trade for Jalen Ramsey? Because he's on the market, he's the best available corner out there. Are you really about to drop the bag for him? I don't think you should. And Jalen Ramsey is about 2 seasons away from playing safety.
I feel like the Bengals win. I mean, one play away from winning the Super Bowl 2 years ago, one play away from getting back to your second straight Super Bowl. You're this close. So why take the foot off the gas this offseason to bring everyone back, lose a lot of those pieces next offseason, and then just replace them with new incoming pieces? And I feel like you're running in place. Yes, bring back what you have, but I mean, you got to be aggressive. I mean, the last 3 we talked about this on yesterday's show. People said, making fun of the Browns, off-season champions. There's nothing wrong with being the off-season champion. You got to be aggressive. You have to go make moves. The last 3 Super Bowl winners were the most aggressive teams in the off-season at the trade deadline. You're not going to convince me that standing pat with the team that's come up short the last 2 years is the best option to go. But again, that getting better by getting one more year mature, what's that called? Just the continuity, I guess. Maybe that's what the Bengals are counting on. But I don't necessarily agree that that's the smart route to go for the Bengals. I don't mind it. I don't want them to improve that roster. But keep in mind, Cleveland significantly better next year. At least that's a plan, right?
So this is according to PFF, the best available free agents. Lamar Jackson, obviously, they don't need a quarterback. Yep. Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Jesse Bates, they had him on the team. They don't want him anymore. Bobby Wagner and James Bradbury. Out of all those guys, only James Bradbury is the guy that I would cough up money for if I'm the Cincinnati Bengals, because obviously you don't need a quarterback. There's 2 quarterbacks in their top 10. Bobby Wagner, he's not better than any of the linebackers that you have on your team already. For me, free agency, if you're going to make a splash that helps your team. Don't make a splash for making splash sakes or having we signed this big name guy. Like, it reminds me of the year that the Washington football team in the year 2000, they had the best free agent class ever. They had Mark Carrier. He was a big time safety back in the day. They signed Deion Sanders and they signed Bruce Smith. You know how many games those dudes played combined? 8 games combined, because they were all over the hill. They were all done, but they were all big names and they paid them a ton of money. So that's the delicate balance. Not only Cincinnati Bengals have to play, but every team out there. Don't just sign guys because they're named and, we need to plug and play. Sign the appropriate guy for your team.
Yeah, let's Mark Smith on Facebook, because I know you have to look at the past couple of years for the Bengals. Nobody is scared. Chad Kinser says continuity, keep what you got, add pieces when needed. And again, just continuing to go down this, Mark Smith says we got reffed. He says we got reffed last year. But when he does say look at the last couple of years for the Bengals, you had the Browns with Baker Mayfield, who they couldn't beat, and then the Browns, with the backup quarterback all of last season. You're standing pat thinking that that's just going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough. That's just kind of my takeaway as far as that's concerned. It will be interesting.
I did want to say one thing before we get up out of here. All the time we hear this about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones wants to win a Super Bowl before he, passes on and everything like that. Hate to get morbid, but he's 80 years old. We never hear that same rhetoric for Mr. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons. They're the same age. So if we're going to say it for Jerry Jones, why wouldn't we say it for Arthur Blank? And if there's a franchise quarterback out there that could potentially help you get off the mat and get you on the road back to the Super Bowl, why wouldn't you do it?
Jerry Jones just trade Dak to Baltimore and pay Lamar that money. You know he wants to.
Oh, you know he'll pay him even more.
Kenner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're going to get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
College basketball frickin' heats up this year like never before. Frickers brings back a fan favorite, frickin' street tacos that add to the drama that the tournament provides. Frickin' chicken tacos, char-broiled chicken tacos, and Mississippi barbecue taco. Frickers also scores with a 48-ounce personal pitcher of ice-cold domestic draft beer for only $6.50 all the games. Frickin' street tacos, $6.50 personal pitchers, nowhere else but the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
The road starts here. Sunday, March 12th, the big hoopla events return to salute Dayton's rich basketball history. Join us for fast-breaking fun with the big hoopla 4-miler at 9 a.m. The race starts and ends at the University of Dayton softball fields. All participants receive a long-sleeve tech tee, a custom finisher medal, free race photos, and tons of post-race food. Register today at DaytonHoopla.com.
Staples stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Hey, it's Justin Kinner from the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. We appreciate all of our listeners and, of course, our sponsors. In fact, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. We take pride in being Dayton's only local afternoon sports talk show right here in the Miami Valley. If you would like to jump in as a sponsor of our show or promote your services within our show, all you have to do is reach out to us directly by texting us at 937-518-1410. Want Kevin and I to endorse your business and services? Just text us. You want to promote an open house, a grand opening, new location, or any other kind of service? Just text us. Bottom line is that we are here to help spread the word and help grow your business. Text us today, 937-518-1410, and we'll give you all of the information that you need to start promoting your business on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. I'm so glad that was Des Bryant and not DeAndre Hopkins. So during the break, I saw this video. It was about DeAndre Hopkins. Basically, we talked about the Cowboys a little bit ago, Kev, but he apparently DeAndre Hopkins, his name's being brought up in Dallas a lot now, and so he put out a tweet yesterday that, hey, I keep hearing my name, let's talk, whatever. But I guess it was Des Bryant who shared the tweet, but he did a live video of it. Well, I thought that was DeAndre Hopkins. So I'm like, oh, I see a lot of gray in that beard. I don't want DeAndre Hopkins anymore.
Goodness. A lot of jokes could be made right now. We'll save them for off the air, though.
It was about the beard, just saying. But no, nonetheless. But so we welcome you back. So during the break, we come across this Tom Pelissero. The Giants are signing quarterback Daniel Jones to a new 4-year, $160 million contract with $35 million in incentives. So that should tell you right there, this is not it's not going to be heavy in the guarantees. There's always going to be guarantees in these contracts moving forward. That is something that happened back when Kirk Cousins, got his. That's why I laugh too about some of the talk with Deshaun Watson is, remember we were told the up until Kirk Cousins, there were never guarantees in these contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So what's interesting is back then when everyone overreacted to the Kirk Cousins guarantees in his contract, remember how that was going to end football? That was going to make it the NBA, right? And just where the players are overtaking the league and blah, blah, blah. Now, what we thought was the worst deal in the history of the league with Kirk Cousins, what was that, 10 years ago? Less than that, but close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the normal for guys like old D. Jones over here. That's what's crazy. That's why this Deshaun thing is just like everyone overreacted to it. I mean, Duffin said last time, he goes, here in the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to look at the deal the Browns got Watson on is actually kind of a team-friendly deal. Yes, they may have more guaranteed money locked into him, but if he's producing, what does it matter? Like, so for instance, this $160 million contract extension, if Jones is most likely going to get all of that if he performs up to the standard that he's supposed to. Aaron Rodgers, they went back and looked. A lot of the contracts that aren't fully guaranteed that they usually eat up. And I'll send you the article. I found this interesting. Of all the deals that get done out there, the reason we're overreacting, about 90 to 94% of all contract extensions are met. Like as far as like the money. Yeah. As for these elite level quarterbacks.
Okay.
Like,
I was just about to ask that. Like, throughout the league?
And they listed like Aaron Rodgers and like all of these, like in a lot of those that aren't met are like your Super Bowl incentives and all that. Like, there's always going to be some of that hanging there. But teams not going after Lamar for fully guaranteed money, it's really about them just it's fascinating to me. But Daniel Jones getting $40 million a year. I said the other day, I think that's more insulting to the NFL than Deshaun Watson getting his fully guaranteed deal. Deshaun Watson is an elite quarterback. This dude threw 15 touchdowns last year and is now making $40 million, $6 million a year, less than the best quarterback in the NFL and Patrick Mahomes. Make it a new segment coming to the show, by the way. Make it make sense. This is a prime example of make it make sense.
You brought it up. Patrick Mahomes' deal is looking like a bargain as well.
Yes. And that was, remember when he signed that? He's the first player to ever sign a $500 million deal. Remember how it was being he just signed a $500 million deal with the Chiefs. Now we're like, wait, Daniel Jones, you want a deal that's $6 million a year less than that? Give me 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I mean, from the Kansas City Chiefs perspective in the city of Kansas City, you don't think that was worth it? He's won 2 Super Bowls, went to another. They've been in the AFC championship all the time. That's more revenue for the team. That's more revenue for the city. People coming into town. Like, it's a win-win for everybody. And I mean, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is like the spectrum all the way to the other side because he's succeeded on so many levels and brought home that championship. But when you have a star quarterback and a very good quarterback, that means your team is always in it, always in the mix. So we break it down to a championship or bust, but we forget about like, all right, deep playoff run. All right, a team making it to the Super Bowl, or your team going to another city and like, oh man, Sunday Night Football is going to be in town because, hey man, we got 2 star quarterbacks matching up. So it's a lot to be said about these guys signing these massive contracts. They bring a lot of revenue, not only to the teams, but the cities that they play for.
So how about this? This was just put out a little bit ago. So which team got the best deal? These are deals over the last 2 to 3 years. But Daniel Jones, 4 years, $160 million. Dak Prescott, it's the same contract as Dak, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott, 4 years, $160 million. Matthew Stafford, 4 years, $160 million. Derek Carr, 4 years, $150 million. Which you can argue Derek Carr better. We'd had this semi-discussion yesterday. Coincidentally enough, every one on this list is all NFC quarterbacks. Geno Smith, 3 years, $105 million. Which team got that? I know you can't see it in front of you, but just those names real quick. So Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford all had the same contract extension, 4 years, $160. Derek Carr, 4 years, $150. Geno, 3 years, $105. Which team got the best deal?
Well, I'm going to cheat because I saw Matthew Stafford take less money, which helped his team get more players to help them win a Super Bowl. So I'm going to say Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, and he threw 50 touchdowns and 6,000 yards.
Yeah.
That's Patrick Mahomes' numbers in the season. And you got that at 40. You got that for Daniel Jones price. Yeah, I think that the Rams, who are aggressive and they spend a ton of money, but yet at the most important position that you think that they would just go ham on, they actually got they got the best deal of everyone on there. Geno, the 3 year 105. What is that? So what's that over 3 years?
I think they said it
35 or 37,
over $35 million a year.
I don't think that's a bad deal.
No,
Geno's numbers were Burrow's last year.
A solid. That's not to be hating on Daniel Jones, but that's what Daniel Jones should have got.
15 touchdowns. Do you mean that
that's so now officially the going rate for a good starting quarterback is $40 million. When we were talking about this like a year or two ago with Baker Mayfield, $30 million, $30 to $32 million was the price. Now that price is up by $8 million.
So this is my problem is there are more Daniel Joneses in the league.
Absolutely.
Than Deshaun Watson. So when we spend all this time, maybe I'm being over the top with I'm kind of defending Deshaun because he's a Browns quarterback, but kind of not. But I thought we overreacted to the Deshaun deal. I mean, why are we overreacting to an elite quarterback getting elite money? Unless we just admit we hate the Browns and the off the field stuff kind of watered that down. But like if he's going to play, he's going to get paid to play. Let's just be clear. But there's way more Daniel Jones. So now you're right. Every good quarterback moving forward, 40 mil.
Yeah.
40 mil every year. That I think hurts the league more. The Giants are screwed more paying him that much money per year than the Browns are paying Deshaun. Deshaun's going to elevate lesser talent around him to where the Giants are going to be so desperate to put bigger talent around him that's why the Browns had to go get OBJ. They had to go get Hooper. They had to go get these big names to put, to put in the pass game because they had to elevate them. You don't have to do that. Look at the Chiefs. They said, I know you have your tight end, but the point, you don't need Tyreek Hill. Imagine if Baker had Tyreek Hill and you took Tyreek Hill. Well, then you get Tua. Remember Tua without Tyreek Hill? Woo. An MVP candidate with Tyreek Hill 8 games into the season until he got hurt. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Like, that's my concern with the NFL. We need to be way more outraged about Daniel Jones getting that money than we do about Deshaun getting his money.
So the Deshaun Watson thing, if I was quote unquote outraged about it, my outrage quote unquote would come from the fact that Deshaun Watson signed a contract with the Texans, had major off the field issues, and basically became a free agent again.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I'm not talking about the actual contract, I'm talking about the fact that he was a free agent twice in the span of, like 8 months. Like that was weird. And the contract was set up in a way that he signed a big deal with the Texans. All these issues came out, sat out the entire year, got paid, free agent again, and then cashed in again. So like from my perspective, if I'm an owner of another team, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, dude. Now everybody's going to want that. All the other quarterbacks are going to want that type of situation. They're going to want to basically renegotiate without even doing anything. Like we're hearing this stuff about Dak Prescott renegotiating this contract, Patrick Mahomes renegotiating their contract. We can talk about Dak Prescott being average or good or whatever, and we know how great Patrick Mahomes is, but they actually played. So there's grounds to renegotiate the contract. from my perspective, he got a chance to renegotiate his contract without even playing. Like, that's for me is like, I won't say it's wrong. I just like, well, that's new.
So, and by the way, coming up here in just a few moments, we are going to be joined by Jared Mueller with SB Nation. He covers the Cleveland Browns. He was last week. He was at the Combine, and he has quite a few pieces out, just kind of highlighting some of the big takeaways, some of the big things he was hearing from all the conversations he had with GMs, players, agents, all that fun stuff from last week at the Combine in Indianapolis, which, by the way, I saw in 2025. Might be going to Dallas, the Combine, trying it for a year. And I don't think that's been officially announced, but the rumors, like those, the rumors, the reports that come out with that stuff. We're going to the Combine next year. We're going to make sure we're at the Combine before they take it to Dallas.
No, I want to go to the one in Dallas.
You know how we operate around here. Like, all right, well, if you accrue a couple more PTO days, we'll allow you to take off to spend your own money to go to the. We'll be right back. Jared Mueller next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Our forecast says it will be partly cloudy and 26 tonight. Chance of rain and 47 tomorrow, mostly sunny, 51 for Thursday. I'm Rick Schrepp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code JOY at checkout. That's harrys.com, code JOY. Enjoy.
The Ohio Education Association congratulates Leanne Simpson, an art teacher at Urbana High School, this week's education champion.
The visual arts are everything that you see, the clothing, the furniture you sit on. My students really have enriched my life. It makes me a better person because they're learning new things. They push me to learn new things so that I can share them with the students. Over the circles. There you go.
United Rentals Spring Equipment Blowout is happening Thursday, March 23rd from 7 to 5. Skid steers, mini excavators, boom lifts, scissor lifts, forklifts, concrete tools, and more. Stop by United Rentals Spring Equipment Sale, March 23rd on Executive Boulevard in Huber Heights. And let's make a deal.
Are you starting to question your gambling or the actions of someone you love?
It may be time to talk to someone who understands.
Call the Problem Gambling Helpline today and talk to a trained specialist.
There's no judgment and no commitment.
Plus, it's completely free and confidential.
We're here for you. You are not alone.
And remember,
we all have the power to change.
With the Problem Gambling Helpline of Ohio.
Make the call today.
Call the Problem Gambling Helpline of Ohio at 1-800-589-9966.
The Big Hoopla Free STEM Challenge is back. Bring the family to the Dayton Convention Center Sunday, March 12th. On-site registration begins at 11:30 a.m. with the opening ceremony at 1 p.m. Experience the passion for college basketball and the power of STEM education. Enjoy hands-on exhibits and compete in the basketball hotshot with prizes awarded. K through 8th grade students may pre-register for the free STEM Challenge championed by Chaminade Julian High School at DaytonHoopla.com.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill each morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
College basketball frickin' heats up this year like never before. Frickers brings back a fan favorite, frickin' street tacos that add to the drama that the tournament provides. Frickin' chicken tacos, charbroiled chicken tacos, and Mississippi barbecue taco. Frickers also scores with a 48-ounce personal pitcher of ice-cold domestic draft beer for only $6.50 all the games. Frickin' street tacos, $6.50 personal pitchers, nowhere else but the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Justin Kinner with you here. St. Patrick's Day is coming up just around the corner, and we have the perfect event to help you kick off your St. Patty's Day morning. We're inviting you to join us Friday, March 17th at Community Golf Course for the Half K Draft Dash presented by Buckeye Vodka. Following the Half K Dash, stick around, enjoy some green beer, a breakfast buffet, plus you'll have opportunities to win tickets to see Blake Shelton, Taylor Swift, Cat Williams, plus we have a variety of gift cards we'll be giving away as well. It's the St. Patty's Day Half K Draft Dash presented by Buckeye Vodka. Register and get all the information that you are looking for at wingam.com. Kenner and Cav back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station 1410 Wing AM. We'll get back to your social media reaction coming up around the corner again. We're live on 1410 Wing AM, live at wingam.com, live on the ESPN Dayton YouTube channel, and live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. We appreciate however you take the show in, that you take your time each day to hang out with us. I know y'all tune in for Kev and y'all tolerate me. It don't matter. I just need you to tune in. That's all that matters. So I appreciate that. But nonetheless, today's been a fun show. After that, we had that Super Bowl hangover for a little bit, where it's like, okay, we're you don't want to dive into all the meat and the potatoes of the offseason the second that the Super Bowl is over, but like now it's starting to ramp up. I mean, today feels like one of them mid-October, mid-November shows with the NFL being front and center at the top of everything. I mean, there's stuff we've been wanting to get into in the NBA. I mean, Red Spring Training, all that, the Big Ten tournament tipped off today, and we'll have Ohio State basketball coming up later on tonight. So we'll get to all of that coming up here later on in the show. In fact, actually, we handed off to Paul Keels in the game coming up here about an hour and 15 minutes from now.
Smooth tones of Paul Keels.
Yes, exactly. Nonetheless. So, but excited to be back hanging out with you. Earlier, Jay Morrison with The Athletic covers the Bengals. We got to talk to him a little bit about the Cincinnati Bengals upcoming offseason. It's going to be a little quiet. It's going to be a little kind of uneventful. In fact, if you're a Bengals media member, you kind of, not making light, by the way, of the stuff that Joe Mixon's been involved in. But I mean, if it wasn't for him, I don't know what the hell you're writing about, to be quite honest with you. No, I mean, there's only, Joe Burrow's contract negotiate. That's boring. At least Lamar's camp made it kind of fun. I mean, you had no clue what to expect there. The Bengals, we're going to get this done. Well, that's boring. No one cares about that. But it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Cleveland Browns, and that's why I'm excited to bring on from SB Nation. We have Jared Mueller hanging out and giving us some time today. Jared, it's been a while, sir. How are you? Welcome.
Oh, I'm doing well, man. Just coming back from the marathon of sprints that Indianapolis is every year for the Combine.
Yeah, you do have that. You are kind of winding down, coming back from that, I mean, there's so many takeaways for Cleveland. I talked about the Bengals a little bit ago. Going to be a little bit of a quieter offseason for them. Their main focus, of course, is going to be, trying to keep as many of their current weapons on that roster and just restructure some things and kind of plan ahead. But they don't have to do a lot because they have a roster that was, for the last 2 years, a play away from winning a Super Bowl and a play away from getting back to one. The Cleveland Browns, although minus, they're in the negative as far as cap right now, a lot of restructures are going to be on the table, which means they're going to have a lot of money to spend, which made them very active. Andrew Berry, of course, very active at the Combine, which, of course, you followed. I'm going to let you kind of take it from here, but your biggest takeaway from the conversations you had about the Browns and Andrew Berry during this free agency period coming up, aggressive seems to be the biggest takeaway about the Browns' approach to this upcoming free agency period.
Yeah, and I think aggressive has been Andrew Berry's kind of what he does since he's been in Cleveland. He's signed some of the top players in free agency every year so far. Now, not all of those have worked out. Austin Hooper, John Johnson III is about to be released. But all the conversations I have is that Andrew Berry is creative. And at some level, he's kind of like us when it comes to fantasy football. He just wants to make moves. Now, obviously, he's not just making moves to make moves, but he's a guy who is consistently talking to teams and sometimes maybe bugging teams, but he wants to get things done. And with agents know he's going to be a straight shooter. And so kind of opposite of what you talked about with Cincinnati, where they have $40 million in cap space, but are going to let PFF's number 4 free agent basically walk out of the door. Cincinnati, even when they were with Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton, often kind of treadmill talent. They drafted really well, but some of that talent was slipping away. What we kind of know about Andrew Berry is he is going to add talent upon talent upon talent. If it works, it works until he gets to the point that whether it's 5 years down the road, 6, 7, 8, that maybe he has to kind of do a tear down, but he's really not a kind of general manager that's going to idle. So you're going to see moves, whether it's, trading a pick this year for a defensive lineman and a pick next year, or he is going to go after Jesse Bates, Jason Hargrave, Brandon Graham, some of those guys from Philadelphia, a free safety, maybe not so much spend in the wide receiver position, but he's not a general manager that's going to stand still. You're not going to see a lot of off seasons where this roster looks the same as it did the year before.
What's the Haslam's approach to this? I mean, what I mean by that is, Andrew Berry strikes me as a guy that is kind of, if they fail this year, I don't know what his future in Cleveland looks like if it doesn't work out, whatever moves are made this upcoming. Are they a very hands-on ownership group? Are they having a lot of say? Some say there was a lot that they kind of forced the Deshaun thing. I don't know if that's factual or not, but that they kind of forced the hand of management to go get Deshaun Watson. What is their role in this? Is it more Jerry Jones-like in Dallas, or is it just throw the cash at them and say, go do your thing? How much freedom does Andrew Berry actually have as far as his vision for what he wants to do in this offseason, especially an offseason as important as this one, with all the resources that they're going to have to go out and make changes to this roster?
He's really kind of an in-between in that he is going to be very involved in some of those big decisions. He wants his hand in the pot. He wants to understand the vision, the plan, all of that. And then he's just going to give you a ton of money, somehow has enough money to take on a 50% of valuation of the Milwaukee Bucks. So 1 point something billion dollars to pay for a basketball team in another city. So he has the money, but he wants to know, he wants to understand the vision. And that's really the role of Paul DePodesta in that organization, is to really help Jimmy Haslam see that here's the plan, here's the structure, here's what we're seeing. If it doesn't work, here's how we're going to turn the page, those kind of things. But he's really hands-on for those big decisions. Otherwise, and kind of some of the planning, otherwise, it's basically a blank check. It is figure it out. I've got the money. He wants to win. He's super competitive. He may go down some ugly roads sometimes, including the Deshaun Watson stuff, but he is super competitive, wants to win, and is willing to pay whatever it takes to make that happen.
You were just at the combine. What guys are the Browns looking to add in the NFL draft? Obviously, they don't have a lot of first-round picks or any first-round picks for the next 3 or 4 years, but obviously they still have picks in the later rounds. What type of guys or positions are they looking to fill?
So positions is really right around the defensive line. The defensive line right now has one player on it. That they have Myles Garrett. Everything else is up in the air. And so I'm very bad at pronunciation, so I hate that I'm going to pull this off or try to. USC,
Welcome to the club. So am I.
Oh man, brother! I'm really looking right now, trying to find. I've got a pronunciation guide someplace, and I'm going to fail finding it. But USC Tuipulotu, the defensive lineman, played at he played at 290 last year as a defensive end. Slimmed down to 263. He had 13.5 sacks. He's a player who can play in multiple places on the line. Mozzie Smith out of Michigan might fall farther than people think. Very little production, but a lot of upside there. And then Northwestern's guy, I'm not even going to try on that one. Just blew up the combine, was great at the Senior Bowl. He's a player who can play defensive tackle, defensive end. And then there's a wide receiver out of UC. He's a Cleveland guy, Tyler Scott. Passionately wants to play for Cleveland, is an explosive player. He's the kind of guy that while they may not have a immediate need for wide receiver, given Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Njoku, and David Bell, he's the kind of guy that if they need to move up after getting a defensive lineman early in the second round, he might be a player that they're going to move up in the second round to try to get, or early in the third round to get that kind of player who has kind of the quickness that we saw with Kansas City with Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney. The Browns really lack that kind of quick player to make impactful plays near the line of scrimmage, which Watson really kind of will benefit from.
Obviously, a lot of holes that they have the resources to fill a lot of these holes, but a lot of holes to fill nonetheless. But you look at Buffalo, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Obviously, you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and you look at Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. You look at Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, and there's a lot of big 1-2 punches in this league. Deshaun Watson has Amari Cooper, and by the way, Amari Cooper is no scrub, so I am not disrespecting Amari Cooper, but at the same time, Amari Cooper is no Stephon Diggs, no Jamar Chase, no Travis Kelce, so on and so on. I know defenses, it sounds like with all the rumors coming out of the combine, that defense seems to be the number one focus, but should Browns fans hold out hope for a DeAndre Hopkins or a big name at wide receiver at all, or is that something that you feel like they're confident and what they can go grab in the draft, or just natural improvement through changing the offensive scheme from a more run-centric scheme to a more open scheme like we've read about throughout the offseason?
Yeah, I think the reality is it's about asset management. And so having Amari Cooper on the contract that he is on, David Njoku, Nick Chubb, those are 3 of your 5 offensive weapons that are on the field at any one time. And those 3 are already paid. Donovan Peoples-Jones will be a free agent after this year. And he's a player, 61 receptions, 839 yards, 3 touchdowns. Again, we're not talking about Higgins and Chase, but are we talking about a Boyd-level player where he's going to get an $8-9 million contract? I think at that level, you're just talking about asset allocation. It's just not going to work out. Talk to some agents. They're like, I just don't see how the Browns pull that off with everything else that they need. And in reality, they're paying Deshaun Watson to make these players better. That's what happens when you pay a quarterback, whether it's the guaranteed money, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, doesn't matter. At some point, they're going to have to make cheaper receivers, cheaper tight ends better. And the Browns are looking to really kind of marginally improve with some of those younger guys in the draft, Foster Moreau in free agency at tight end, and then hope that Deshaun Watson is taking Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Bell, David Njoku kind of over the top, because that's what you pay somebody that much money to do.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off since Justin's scared to talk about it. Nick Chubb.
I ain't scared of nothing. I already had that on the run. I had it in all capital letters. I had, never mind. I can't make that joke. But I had Nick Chubb written down right here.
I will be the first to admit Justin was the first Cleveland Browns fan that I ever heard talk about the possibility of trading Nick Chubb for more draft picks or other players. Is that a real possibility of the Cleveland Browns actually moving off their best player?
Yeah, and Jared, real quick to elaborate on that, if you don't mind. It wasn't just to get additional draft. It was the fact that when you look at teams around the league, every team that has an elite quarterback or that has an elite quarterback that's paid, you can't find a team in the league that has an elite paid quarterback and an elite paid running back. And Dak may be paid a lot, but he ain't freaking elite. So let's just be real. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where people are piling on me mad because they think I don't like Nick Chubb. I'm the biggest Nick Chubb. That's my favorite Cleveland Browns player right now. So I'm taking my fandom out of it. It's one of those where you're talking about having to get the cheaper end receivers to make them better. Well, what I hear is, we got to get cheaper end wide receivers, not because Deshaun's paid a lot, but because you got a 12 to 15 mil a year running back that, as good as he is, I always felt like he was the guy to kind of help bail out a Baker Mayfield or a Jacoby Brissett. You don't have to bail out a Deshaun Watson, or at least that's the hope. What is the long-term, to piggyback off Kev's question, what is the long-term outlook for Nick Chubb?
Yeah, so this year I would put it at 99% Nick Chubb is going to be on the Cleveland Browns. Next year it gets really interesting because you're right. The reality is that even when we look at EPA, which is kind of like baseball WAR, Nick Chubb was the best in the NFL at running back and would have been like 35th ranked at wide receiver. So the best running back in the NFL is equal to, and again, obviously this is oversimplified numbers, but equal to the impact at the end of the day of the 35th ranked wide receiver. But right now, when I talk about Andrew Berry being aggressive, he literally is acting as if the NFL salary cap is going up 15 to 20 million every year for the next 3 years. And when you say that he's just going to continue to be aggressive, it is going to be about adding talent. And at times you can rob Peter to pay Paul, right? And so next year, if Chubb has another good year, it's going to be a good year with 12 to 15 carries a game. And they're okay with that because it extends his career and possibly makes him valuable in a trade. But they're not going to make that trade unless, again, it could be on draft night of 2024. But it's going to be very specific. It's going to be very targeted, not, we need more money or we want more draft picks. It's going to be very, very specific in a way to greatly improve the team, both in the short term and the long term. But if Nick Chubb is here throughout the entirety of his contract, that wouldn't shock me, given the way that Andrew Berry has run the team. He extended Kareem Hunt with a top-level backup running back kind of contract. So he has kind of gone away from the general analytics of not paying running backs.
So last question for me about the combine. I got to ask you about the Ohio State guys, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He didn't run the 40, but he destroyed every other drill out there. And CJ Stroud was awesome. So how do they look in person?
Man, in person, I'll tell you this, Lucas Oil Stadium was kind of pointless until we got to quarterback day. And quarterback, you could see, as a Buckeye myself, I'll be paying them, for my master's degree for a while still. You could see why, for me, CJ Stroud is quarterback one. He just is. It's not Bryce Young. It is CJ Stroud. He has everything you want in a quarterback. Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to catch everything, his fluid movement. Now, I think the concern for kind of a fan base perspective is JSN going to be that number one wide receiver on the outside who is making the big Jamar Chase plays? Probably not. He may not have that top end speed, which is why he was smart enough to wait for Ohio State's pro day, because that 40 at Ohio State might just be slightly downhill. But he is going to be a hugely impactful player at the next level. And I think from maybe being a high second round pick, he's now pretty much guaranteed himself in that top 20, top 15 range, depending on how a bunch of trades kind of play out. Stroud, I think, makes things really interesting at the top of the draft. Do teams decide I don't need to be as aggressive to get up to number one? because whether I have Bryce Young 1 or CJ Stroud 2, maybe that's a little bit closer. And then you have the freak athlete of Anthony Richardson, who just showed that he could play every position on the field. The top of the draft has become really, really interesting because CJ Stroud showed everyone what us Buckeyes knew, that he could and should be the top quarterback in this draft.
There's a Michigan fan in the comment section that saying it's Bryce Young. Sorry. So, you know, Shaw, Shaw. Yeah.
I will say this. If Bryce Young was 6'2", I would pick him first, but he ain't. He's 5'10", and I'm surprised he got all the way up to 205 pounds. Shouts out to Bryce Young for eating a whole bunch of chicken peanut butter sandwiches to put on that weight.
He was water weight.
Yeah. Like that's that boxer weight. Like he gonna go home and he gonna go back to his normal diet and he's gonna get right back down to 185.
We have Jared Mueller with us here again, SB Nation. Dawgs by Nature again hanging out with us here. Kenner and Kev live on Dayton's ESPN radio station. Jared, last thing here on the way out, your initial takeaways. What from the Lamar Jackson situation in Baltimore? I know right away we're just assuming he's out in Baltimore, but it does seem kind of wild if they find a way to keep him there or if he's willing to stay there, obviously. But I am curious your thoughts. Let's just assume that he leaves Baltimore. Does that make the Browns more aggressive? Because, hey, now we just had it's Browns and Browns and Bengals. I'm disrespecting Kev Steelers, by the way. Browns and Bengals. Or if they keep Lamar, it's okay. Now we got to bulk up because we got Lamar still in this division. Like, will it have any impact on the Browns' approach to this offseason?
I don't think it's going to have much impact. I think the area you might see it have a small impact is maybe what they look to do at linebacker or safety, just because of the speed and quickness of Lamar Jackson, the Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah pick, and some of the different things they've done partially were to deal with Lamar, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. But if you're good enough, you're going to have to deal with 2 of the 3 of those guys anyways. The interesting thing at the Combine was without an agent, the Jackson murmurs were, we don't know what's going to happen. There was just almost everyone to a man was like, they're probably going to tag him. We have no idea who's interested, but so far I've seen qualified reports that say the Falcons are not interested, the Carolina Panthers are not interested, and so you start to wonder, is going home to Miami, staying in the AFC, is Baltimore willing to make that deal, right? Out to Las Vegas with Josh McDaniels, is that the guy, is that who they replaced Derek Carr with?
Jared, real quick, the Raiders, it just came out, the Raiders are not, the Raiders are very unlikely. This is from Dov Kleiman. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but no, that's what I was thinking too. But that one just kind of knocks that one out as well. So you're right. It seems like that at this point, Miami is just becoming more and more of his only option. And do you think that these teams are stepping out because of the guaranteed money thing?
I don't think it's the guaranteed money thing. It is a little bit. Actually, that's a good call on the Raiders. Mark Davis doesn't have the money to escrow, and that goes back to that cash-rich owners. Like when Cincinnati in the Paycor Stadium, that happened so that they had more money to put in escrow for all the guaranteed money they're going to have to give Joe Burrow. And so I think it goes back to where is your ownership group? And so I think a lot of it comes down to the last 2 years. He finished the season injured. Baltimore let it be really known that they thought he should be able to play last year in that playoff game. And so Baltimore's kind of muddied the waters in a variety of ways, and it continues with this non-exclusive franchise tag. This could get really, really ugly and really, really complicated this offseason. The Giants just signed Daniel Jones. The Jets might have Aaron Rodgers. All of a sudden, the landing spots for Lamar Jackson, cash-rich owner, and a team who needs a quarterback, you're starting not to see a lot of those out there already. And can he come back to Baltimore on a 1-year deal when he wanted $200 and some million guaranteed?
Interesting. Going to be, by the way, do you believe, Jared, that the Ravens are hoping he finds another deal? I know that sounds silly, but is there, because if he doesn't find another deal elsewhere, that means they're back to the drawing board, right? Like, and that could be him sitting out because he doesn't want to play for the $32 million franchise. I mean, so is that what you mean by this can get really, really ugly if that's the case?
Yeah, it could, exactly that. I think the Ravens actually do. The reason they did the non-exclusive tag is to allow Lamar to go find what his market is. And if that market is palatable to them, then they're going to sign him to that deal. But they didn't, having your quarterback begrudgingly back in the locker room, especially after last year ended, is just not a good feel for a team that wants to compete, especially after that NFLPA survey came out where they got kind of, and some of their current and former players are coming out against kind of how they do things in the weight room and with the training staff. They need things to be smooth going into next season. So if they have Lamar on a deal that he signed with somebody else and they match, they have their quarterback at a market price that he knows is real. Otherwise, they have 2 first-round picks, and they figure it out from there.
All right, Jared, beyond appreciate your time. Jared Mueller, SB Nation, and, of course, covering the Browns for Dawgs by Nature. Jared, you the man. Appreciate you. This won't be the last time we have you on. I promise you that much. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good, guys.
All right, good stuff. Jared Mueller, lots to unpack there. Like I said, kind of like when we talked to Jay earlier, yes, Jay's on to talk Bengals, Jared's on to talk Browns, but at the end of the day, AFC North is AFC North. Everything has an impact on the other, nonetheless.
But yeah, man, I was more blown away by the conversation about the combine, about CJ Stroud and JSN. And, I mean, I'll go ahead and do it. I'll pat myself on the back. All these people out here, the talking heads on ESPN, I don't think he's a first-round pick. He's a mid-second-round pick. As soon as he got on the field and they saw his cuts and explosiveness and him not dropping a pass because he's never dropped a pass at Ohio State, oh, yeah, he's a first-rounder. Just like the tape said it was. So I think sometimes they just run out of stuff to say, run out of stuff to talk about. I had these conversations with buddies of mine like, well, he didn't play the season. There's no way I would drop him in the first round. Okay.
Jamar Chase on line 2, by the way.
Exactly. Look at the tape. Look at the production. Look what he did on tape. He's a good, he's a great route runner. No, I don't think he's an outside receiver. I don't think he's going to be making the big-time explosive plays that Jamar Chase did as a rookie. But that don't mean he's not a first-round pick. We've seen a whole bunch of dudes that run a super fast 40 and be absolutely nothing in the NFL. Name Ross. Remind anybody out there? He had the second fastest 40 of all time in the NFL, and he's watching just like me and you.
So Mr. Shaw says, I'll bet you whatever you want to bet that Stroud isn't the first pick. That's not what we're arguing here. We are arguing he should be the first quarterback taken off the board. He is the better of the quarterbacks. Size does help him. Bryce Young, as you talked about, if it's a little taller, obviously he's the clear cut. Sounds like he's the clear cut anyways, but let's not act like teams always get the number 1 overall pick right as far as that's concerned. So, no, that's really –
I'm 100% positive, and even if I was picking, I'm not, if Bryce Young was even 6'1", if he was 6'1", and a legit 200 pounds, because this 205 pounds that he's walking around with is not how much he weighs in real life. CJ Stroud has weighed 215 pounds basically since he got to Ohio State. He's been 6'3", 6'2", whatever, since he got to Ohio State. I'm not knocking Bryce Young because he's short. I think there's plenty of short quarterbacks in the NFL that have succeeded over the years. I'm knocking him because I weigh more than he does.
There's such thing as shortism.
I'm not a shortism guy. I
feel your shortism over
no,
here. I feel it. At 5'5", I feel it.
I am knocking him because he's light in the keister. That's why I'm knocking him.
I'm 5'5" and not light in the keister.
Give him some pounds, Kenner. Jeez.
All right, Kenner and Kev with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. We got a lot to get into. We're going to get into John Morant and the Joe Mixon situations around the corner. Deion Sanders. And a very interesting take on what he looks for out on the recruiting trail. And very interesting comments. And I have no clue how to decipher this. That's why I'm excited to talk about this coming up here, top of the hour. Kev, you don't know it yet, but top of the hour. Coming up here in just a few moments, nonetheless. But I appreciate Jay Morrison. I appreciate Jared Mueller. I appreciate, we're going to have a lot of guests over the next couple of weeks that are really going to kind of take us behind the scenes with everything covering the NFL, especially the Browns and the Bengals, nonetheless. So did get confirmation Clark Kellogg on Thursday, by the way. So we'll be chatting some March Madness with him as far as that's concerned. But all right, Kenner and Kev, we'll be right back. 518-1410. Let's go ahead and we'll open the phone lines. I saw people that were trying to call the busy signals on earlier during the interview. Why do people always call when we have the interview on?
They want to talk to
they want to talk to them. They don't want to talk to us. Kenner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Bet the NBA on TNT with a no-sweat, same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. Every Thursday night, you'll get bonus bets back if your same-game parlay does not hit. NBA same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays already made for you in the FanDuel Sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NBA on TNT every Thursday night with a no-sweat, same-game parlay. Go to FanDuel.com/Kinner, KINNER, to learn more and download FanDuel today to get in on the action. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and older and present in Ohio. 3+ leg, minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment, featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. The Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 36 months. Now through March 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at ColumbusEquipment.com.
At the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission, we help veterans and their dependents navigate the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA. We can assist with VA claims, pensions, and a variety of benefits, including emergency financial assistance, transportation, and legal services. If you are a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, a wide range of services may be available to you, always at no cost to the veteran. We are honored and proud to serve all Miami Valley veterans. Contact us today at 937-225-4801.
Attention business owners, if you are hearing my voice and have 5 or more W-2 employees, you may be entitled to a tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. OhioRefund.com helped a business owner with 23 employees, and they received a refund of over $375,000. To check your company's eligibility to receive this government-approved program of up to $26,000 per employee, visit OhioRefund.com. We have already secured millions of dollars for businesses just like yours. At OhioRefund.com, you will find out with no cost up front how much money your company will receive. Even if you got PPP money, you can still qualify. This is a payroll tax refund program approved by the United States Treasury Department for any business who kept employees on payroll during the pandemic. Best of all, these funds do not have to be paid back. Do not miss the opportunity to claim up to $26,000 per employee. Visit OhioRefund.com. OhioRefund.com. That's OhioRefund.com.
Are you ready for tax season? Belmont Business Consultants and Tax Services is ready for you. If you want to come in person, it's a safe environment. Or you can just drop off. Belmont Tax also provides a completely virtual, secure client portal. For business or personal, if you want the accurate deductions you deserve, contact Belmont Tax in Dayton and Eaton. Go to BelmontBCTXS.com. BelmontBCTXS.com.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Get 11% off your appliance upgrade now at Menards. We offer the lowest prices with the largest in-stock appliance selection. Ready to take home today. New appliances from Menards are meant to make your life easier. Upgrade your home with top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. Upgrade your home with new energy-efficient appliances and save 11%. Good through March 12th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
College basketball frickin' heats up this year like never before. Frickers brings back a fan favorite, frickin' street tacos that add to the drama that the tournament provides. Frickin' chicken tacos, charbroiled chicken tacos, and Mississippi barbecue taco. Frickers also scores with a 48-ounce personal pitcher of ice-cold domestic draft beer for only $6.50 all the games. Frickin' street tacos, $6.50 personal pitchers, nowhere else but the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Betting happens as fast as sports. And now every play is faster than ever before. You're on the edge of your seat until the moment when it's all on the line. Which is why it's important to pause before you play. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. So remember to set limits, know the risks, and pause before you play. To learn more, visit pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Wendy's homestyle French toast sticks are so good. Some are saying they're better than their mom's. Perfectly crispy, perfectly golden brown. Try Wendy's homestyle French toast sticks today and see if they're better than your mom's.
Hey, it's Max Kellerman, and you're listening to Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 WINGAM.
Five football fields, 500 yards. That's all you got to do. Seriously, that's all we got to do.
We.
The half K. No, we're French all this time. I mean, yes, we. Ain't gonna be getting no COVID. Ain't gonna be, everyone gonna be healthy and ready to rock. Half K draft dash, baby. We are off and rolling. March 17th, community golf course. That's how you're gonna kick off your St. Patty's Day morning. Green beer, breakfast buffet. All right, we got a chance to win some really cool tickets. Look, the Taylor Swift tickets that basically shut down Ticketmaster.
Yes, sir. We got him.
Blake Shelton.
We got him.
Blake Shelton. Is he the guy on American Idol?
Yes.
I like Blake Shelton.
We got him.
We got him. Not him, but we got tickets to go see him. Can I get a pair of them? Nope, we got it. We got to give them to the winners.
Yeah.
And you got to drive the right way. But come on out. Half K Draft Dash presented by Buckeye Vodka, March 17th. Community golf course a week from this Friday. We've been doing a lot of groundwork behind the scenes, getting this set up, getting it ready to rock, have a ton of fun. I'm jacked about this. Everyone here at the station is jacked. It's an opportunity for all of us to kind of come together and kick things off on St. Patty's Day morning with the Half K Draft Dash. It's a grueling run that will test the limits of even the most experienced runners. Actually, not really.
Got it.
Oh, did someone come in? Oh, so he's not on the. So it's the voice.
Yeah.
Oh.
On the voice. Shouts out to DoorDash Ray for the correction.
Luke, DoorDash Ray. That's what he called into it.
We got producers all over the place, baby.
Blake Shelton. Oh, I'm thinking of Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't watch those shows.
I don't.
When the last time you watched American Idol?
I watch American Idol regularly.
Really? I didn't even know.
I just like staring at Katy Perry.
I know she's on there, but I didn't even know Lionel Richie was.
I love Lionel. Big Lionel Richie fan. Big Katy Perry fan.
I wonder why.
I love Katy Perry. I don't know what it is.
I know what it is.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm obsessed. I didn't even know she's. I didn't even know that she had music till last week. Why do they have her on this singing show anyway? Oh, she sings.
Good seats.
This is all in the middle of us promoting. So when we send this air check to our bosses, Half K Draft Dash promoting the woman we don't even have tickets for.
Right. When's the last time she's even been on tour?
I will go see her.
Last time I
don't
seen
care.
her perform was at the Super Bowl with the Sharks, right?
Was that her?
Yeah.
I love Katy Perry.
Apparently not. You don't know nothing about her.
I love Katy Perry. Half K Draft Dash March 17th, Community Golf Course, presented by Buckeye Vodka. Register at wingam.com. You're going to have a chance to win gift cards, Bonefish Grill, Blake Shelton tickets, Cat Williams tickets, Taylor Swift tickets. And again, we just appreciate everyone that's already registered and signed up. Plus, we want to see some of you guys. All you guys give me such a hard time. Y'all love Kev. Come on out. Let's have a little fun, have a beer together, have some breakfast together, and kick off St. Patty's Day. Again, that is next Friday, the 17th, at Community Golf Course.
Wear your green, and also we're giving away prizes for first place, whoever finished first in the half K, and last place, and we're giving away prizes for best dressed.
Best dressed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, what up, Shaw?
Hey, what's going on, boss?
Man, I haven't hung up on you in a while. No, I didn't hang up on him. Shaw, I didn't hang up on you. You're just back on hold. I just wanted to make you think. I see Kev's face. It's been a while since I hung up on Shaw. Shaw, you're on hold, buddy. We're going to get back to you. We just have to get to the top of the hour. We'll be right back. Kinner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio. We got to redo that promotion. That was a horrible segment.
That was awesome.
Ooh, Katy Perry.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill each morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The all-new Chevrolet of Troy is now open. What are the advantages of shopping at Chevrolet of Troy? Selection has never been better, with over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles available. We always accept employee and supplier pricing, and we make financing easy. Customer service is our top priority. We care about you, with thousands off MSRP, a full-service state-of-the-art dealership, and huge selection. Make Chevrolet of Troy your first stop today. 1375 South Market Street, and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
Quarterbacks are different. Yeah, we
Hi,
want
I'm Martha Stewart,
mother, father,
and I have a
dual
question for
parent.
you.
Mm-hmm. We want
Pittsburgh off the mark, another
The way I would describe Jackson Smith,
I'm
in the
business of making
the
Cincinnati Bengals.
That's why I got an
I'm in
updated
the
booster
business of
designed
making
to
the
help
Cincinnati
protect
Bengals.
against recent.
Pittsburgh off the mark, another rebound there.
Got it. Check eligibility and schedule your updated COVID booster at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Progressive presents an ad from Mom.
Hello, is it on? Oh, okay. Bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive and get protection round the clock. Round the clock? Does this generation even understand what round the clock means? But I'm just saying, because don't come to me when they ask to do this over, because the kids won't get it.
Get round-the-clock protection when you bundle and save with Progressive. It's easier than getting your mom to make this radio ad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Hi, Greg McAfee here with McAfee Heating and Air. There has never been a better time to start a new career. If you are 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED and enjoy working with your hands, consider the McAfee Apprenticeship Program, where you will learn everything you need through in-class and on-the-job training. Apply today at mcair.com. That's mcair.com.
Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earn doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Hey, everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kinner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Ken and Kev back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. We're live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, live on ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. Shout out to Jared Mueller, SB Nation, Jay Morrison with The Athletic. Jared Mueller covers the Browns. Jay Morrison covers the Bengals. If you missed those interviews, don't worry. We'll have both of those up on our YouTube channel, and then I'll share them on our Facebook page coming up here later on this evening following the show. So you have Kevin and I for about another 40 minutes. We'll be handing you off for Ohio State basketball coming up. 5:45 is when coverage begins. 6:30 the tip-off, Ohio State and Wisconsin. And, they're playing on the first day. We're not used to that. Not used to that. That's for sure. So, So by the way, have you heard of this app? It's not good for me to have this app, but it's that fan dance or the face dance.
Yes.
Yeah, that you take someone's face and just make it. Yeah, it's kind of freaking funny, to be quite honest with you. Very immature of me to have that, but nonetheless, Shaw, I'm gonna make one of Shaw.
Oh, do it, please.
Shaw, I'm making one of you. You don't know what we're talking about yet, but I think I might put it on the page. It might be on the page. But what up, Shaw? It's been a while. How are you? Welcome back on.
How you doing, my friend?
Good.
Don't call me that. What's wrong with you? No, what's up, man? How's heel age? So you're healing up. You got the cone of shame on still, huh?
The brace of shame, yeah.
Oh, that's your excuse because you're too chicken to come out to the half K draft dash on March 17th at Community Golf Course presented by Buckeye Vodka?
I mean, we can put something on it. We can.
I'll get you a golf cart.
I always say y'all can race.
How about we get you a golf cart?
It's not on my leg. It's on my arm.
So
I can run.
Oh, yeah.
But I just can't get there.
Oh, yeah. I'll be taping.
Someone come pick me up. Yeah, then I'm sure the charity people would love me and you racing.
I ain't going to pick you up. I'll send you an Uber.
Whatever. If I get there, I'll get there, and then I'll kick your tail racing. So let's go.
What the violence? This is for charity. Kev, tell them the charity.
It is for charity.
Big brothers, big sisters of Miami Valley.
You trying to turn this into like a boxing match or something.
Round one.
I don't want to embarrass you in front of all those people.
No. I'll be waiting, drinking my beer while you're still finishing.
That's, you know what? As mean as that sounds, you're not technically wrong. But what do you got for? I think you called a little bit ago. We're talking about the Ohio State quarterbacks at the combine, and you're adamant that CJ Stroud won't be the look. I agree with you. I don't think he's going to be the first quarterback drafted, but we just believe he should.
Not if you watch tape.
Oh, okay.
Bryce Young has better feet. Bryce Young has better accuracy. Bryce Young has a better brain when it comes to dissecting defenses. The only thing hurting him right now is that he's 5'10". And I know it's huge, and I know everybody wants to blow that out of proportion, but that's 1 inch shorter than Drew Brees. I think he did fine. When you look at the film, you got one guy who gets schemed open. You got another guy who actually had to make stuff happen down at Alabama with his feet. And with today's game, that's what I think the NFL is looking for. I don't think they're looking for a guy who stands back there and you got to scheme things to get wide receivers open. Congratulations. He threw a deep ball to some guys in the combine with no defense coming after him, and there's no chips on the table like there were 2 games in a row, the last game in November. So
and now it all comes out. It all comes out. Okay.
No, it's not just based on that. It's not just based on that. But that I'm not going to sit here and act like
there's no Max Duggan. That's for sure.
Matter. So I'm not going to act like that game doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters. All the tape against elite competition matters. And when he went up against an elite team in the college football playoff, he balled his butt off. No doubt about that.
Well, you explained to me why he did it in that game, but he didn't do it any other time in his career.
Any other time in his career.
Could it be that he knew he had to put that on film for the NFL? Like, I know I'm leaving. I know I haven't done it yet. I better ball out this game or I'm not going to get drafted number one guaranteed if I don't do that.
Let's not act like he's a bad player or that he didn't.
No, he's the number two choice in this draft.
And that the reason that they lost to Michigan 2 years in a row was on him. Definitely the first year that y'all got off the schneid, it wasn't because of the offense. It was because y'all ran the ball down Ohio State's throat. They moved the ball.
I agree with that. I mean, that's the main point. But I would also tell you it's because he wouldn't get off the point, wouldn't roll out of the offense and get something going.
Oh yeah, I think
it's the same thing as this year.
I think that Bryce Young sees the field better, processes information a lot faster than CJ Stroud. If he was an inch taller and actually really weighed 200 pounds, I wouldn't have a problem taking Bryce Young. Number one,
he doesn't weigh 200 pounds. I was going to ask that. I'm glad you brought that back up.
Because he don't. Because he's Kyrie Irving size. That's why.
So there's no way that game, I understand he's not a UFC fighter and he's not a boxer, but there's no such thing as game weight.
Well, when you're prepping for things, just like you talked about when CJ Stroud is throwing wide open passes in the combine and there's no pressure, when you have a test and you know what the test is going to include, you know what to do. So everybody in their mind was telling him, well, man, you weigh 175 pounds. You probably need to put on some weight before the combine and make sure it's good weight, not sloppy weight. So when you take your shirt off, you're not walking around there with a beer belly. So they put some good weight on him.
That's why we have to wear shirts at the half K draft dash, by the way. It's a Kinder rule.
It's just going to come off, though.
Oh, every player loses weight throughout the season. I mean, you're not going to do that much practicing and that much playing football and still maintain that type of weight. I mean, he's a small dude, man, and not only small, but he's skinny. Like that scares me. But I would say this about Bryce Young. It's not his sophomore year tape that really wows me. It's this year's tape where he didn't have multiple first round wide receivers on his team, where he doesn't have Jamison Williams and he didn't have Jonathan Michie on his team. He had a whole bunch of dudes that potentially won't even get drafted playing wide receiver. His best offensive weapon was Jahmyr Gibbs, a transfer from Georgia Tech. So those are the things like that wowed me about his game. And it's not even really the running or him escaping the pocket. It was anticipation of throws. Those are the things that jump off the page for me. But CJ Stroud, he checks off all the boxes that, I used one of those catchphrases. He checks off all the boxes, not only arm talent wise, but size wise and height wise. Now, it's kind of like what you value more. Do you value processing information faster or the arm talent and everything that CJ Stroud possesses?
Accuracy and the way you dissect defenses are my top two attributes as a quarterback.
No doubt about it.
If you could guarantee me, and I know this is impossible, but if you could guarantee me CJ Stroud is the player who played against Georgia and not the rest of his tape, then I would take CJ Stroud over Bryce Young.
The rest of his tape is not bad.
You act
like he's a bum-ass QB that just all of a sudden flipped a switch against Georgia.
Yeah, like he just had this one magical night.
Georgia.
He had one magical night in his entire career?
No, he did flip a switch against Georgia. That's the thing that's that's the minuscule things that are being looked at between these two players. And if he sat there and would have played with that same intensity and that same mindset against Georgia, I'm going to say it, against Michigan the last 2 years, Michigan doesn't beat Ohio State.
But you trying to make it out that CJ Stroud, Ohio State had me playing quarterback out there. And then I turned into CJ Stroud. No, he was always very good. Sometimes the other team wins. Like that's what happens. That's what happens.
You're taking it because I'm a Michigan.
No. What you're doing, what it sounds like you're doing is you're taking credit away from your team as opposed to giving them credit for winning the game and saying like he didn't play up to snuff. No, your team played better. They won fair and square.
Our team play. If we want to sit here and talk the Michigan stuff, we can talk that all day long. And I'm going to support my Michigan Wolverines. But when it comes to if you can't sit there and look at Bryce Young and CJ Stroud over those 2 years and sit there and say that there wasn't, and I don't even mean to bring Bryce into this, but if you can't look at C.J. Stroud over those 2 years and look at the way he played over 2 years, and then look at the way he and what he did against Georgia, and say that there's not a difference, and then ask yourself why that didn't come out every single week, then I think I don't. Sometimes
the only thing different that C.J. Stroud did was take off and run.
Yeah, outside of that, he was a Heisman finalist 2 years in a row, not because he
about?
played horrible for 2 years and only played well for 1 game in 2 years.
I'm not saying he played horrible. You're putting words in my mouth.
Well,
I'm not saying he played horrible. What I'm saying is those are the dividing lines. Like, he didn't show he could run for 2 years. Why? That's the if I was a GM.
Most of the time, he didn't have to run.
The best running quarterback in the NFL can't find a job right now, so I'm not really sure what that has a whole lot to do with at this point.
Okay, so why do we put Josh Allen on a pedestal? Why do we put for you, Kenner, why are you putting Jalen Hurts on a pedestal all of a sudden? Like, don't sit there and act like you're not going to sit here and say that that running as a quarterback isn't bringing another dimension.
No. First of all, yes, it does matter. It does. I'm kind of being a little bit of a smart aleck. It does matter.
Stroud, so
however,
why am I an idiot for bringing it up?
Hey, first of all, if you're going to say that I'm calling you an idiot, I'm not allowed to call names anymore. So if I was allowed to, I would. Don't be telling me I called you something I didn't call you. That kind of upsets me.
I apologize for that. I apologize for saying that. But if you're going to
don't accept your
like
apology,
what I'm saying is completely gone. Is off the reservation. If you're
okay, let's bring it back here, because I feel like this is what happens when you and I get going, and you got Kev going today. We talk in circles. At the end of the day, I'm not really sure what you are trying to do here, other than us talking about the fact that C.J. Stroud has been a fantastic. You're saying he played well for 1 game in 2 years, when I think he's only had 2 bad games in his entire 2-year career as a Buckeye quarterback, a Heisman finalist back-to-back years,
and one of them was at Northwestern in the win.
And that one too was a little questionable. I'll give you that. But sitting here saying, actually, what are you saying? I just feel like you're saying earlier that we're overhyping him because we're Buckeye fans. I think you're just poo-pooing on him because you're a Michigan fan.
No, can I explain it?
Go for it.
Go for it. Yeah, we got time.
It has nothing to do with Michigan and Ohio State. It has to do with C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young.
You brought up Michigan.
How I view those 2 players is what I saw from C.J. Stroud for 2 years, except for 1 game. Well, 2 games. You're right. The Northwestern game was a player who would sit back, drop back 5-7 strips. His wide receivers are schemed open. He's not throwing anybody open. He's schemed open. And these are the minuscule things where you're taking the 2 quarterbacks and you're dissecting them in between.
And Bryce Young throws guys open. He throws guys open.
He schemes guys open. Ryan Day schemes them open. He doesn't throw them open. No. I don't think he throws into tight windows. I don't think he throws guys open across the middle of the field. I don't think he throws them open down the field. Some of that is the offense that Ryan Day calls, but it's also in Ryan Day's favor. He's scheming those guys open.
It's when you're Ohio State, you have that much talent on the team. Like, you're going to overwhelm teams. So to expect him to go out here and be, I don't know, this is turning back the hands of time, to be like Ben Roethlisberger at Miami of Ohio and just be making all the throws and being the sole reason why you're winning football games. I love those type of quarterbacks in college. Like, you want him to be like Cam Newton when he was at Auburn. You know, I always love this stat about that Auburn team that won the national championship team. There was only 3 guys on that roster that made the NFL. Cam, Nick Fairley, and one of the wide receivers. Like, he was the catalyst between that.
He started that.
Yeah. But when you are at Ohio State or at Alabama, when you have that much talent on the team, like, it's just going to overwhelm you. So you got NFL wide receivers, so the windows aren't going to be tight. That's why when you look at C.J. Stroud's tape, you're only really going to look at the Georgia game, the Michigan game, teams that can actually compete with Ohio State. Because most teams can't compete with all the immense talent on Ohio State. C.J. Stroud's a very, very good quarterback. I would take him number 1 because I would be terrified of Bryce Young's size. If Bryce Young really legitly weighed 200 pounds, it was like 6'1", I would take him hands down, because I think that Bryce Young processes the game a little bit faster, to CJ Stroud, but to act like CJ Stroud is mere you out there playing quarterback all season long, and then, oh man, he flipped the switch to play at Georgia to get drafted number 1. Yeah, he took off and ran. Yes, there was a big element about CJ Stroud that our fan base wanted him to run more. Okay, fine, whatever. They got to where they needed to be in the college football playoff, regardless of him running or not, and he balled his butt off in that game.
So now he's saying the separation between these two players is minute.
Wow, so we were on the phone for 35 minutes for nothing.
My gosh, luckily we don't get charged by the minute anymore on the phone.
And I agree that it's very thin between those two dudes. And to see here act like Bryce Young has always balled out of control and had elite games every single time he stepped on the football field is not true either.
Shaw, your Michigan fandom is showing. We got time for one more. It has to be quick though, because we're up against it. Kev, who we got?
I have no idea.
Hey, caller, who's this?
Gentlemen.
Oh God, it's the all-star team's coming out today. Got Sean, now we got Jerry. Jerry, how are you, man? It's been a while.
I'm doing good, and I never thought I'd hear myself say these words, but I kind of agree with Shaw.
Oh wow.
And let me explain why. CJ Stroud, in my opinion, is the second best quarterback in this draft. Bryce Young is the best quarterback in this draft, and it's very, very close. I agree with you guys. But I do think there was a profound difference in his attitude. In the Georgia game, you could tell he was going to do whatever it took to win that game. And Charles right. He did not have that attitude the rest of the year. I didn't see it.
I don't understand how that's a bad thing. He came to play in the biggest game of his career.
Well, he didn't have that same energy against Michigan is the problem.
I don't think he played his best game against Michigan the second time, but the only reason they had a shot to beat Michigan in Ann Arbor or in Columbus 2 years ago was because of him. He threw for 400 yards, or almost 400 yards. Like he played well. They couldn't get the run game going.
He didn't play bad. He didn't play bad, but he didn't take it to that next. What we saw against Georgia, I think, was next level.
Alabama wasn't in the playoff this year. Was that because Bryce Young didn't take them to that next level?
Right.
Well, dude, he ran up against who did he run up against in the SEC?
They didn't make the SEC championship game. They lost to Tennessee.
Level down.
They lost to Tennessee in a very close game. Do we really think that Alabama was worse than TCU? No, of course not. Right? I don't want to get off track on that whole subject.
You already did.
My only point is I think we saw a level of urgency and a level of commitment that I'm going to do whatever it takes to win this game from CJ Stroud against Georgia that we did not see in any other game. I think that's what Shaw's saying. I don't think Shaw's saying he was a bad quarterback. He's a really good quarterback, of course. But I didn't see the potential greatness of a pro out of him until that Georgia game. And I think that's what Shaw's saying.
Jerry, thank you. And Jerry, I'm not ending your call because for one, I like when we go back and forth. I hate to end the call there. Appreciate you calling. Call back later in the week because I am curious about your Raiders at this point because it seems like they're interesting stuff. In fact, I hope the Raiders don't. You don't deserve CJ Stroud, by the way. No, but we'll step away for a few moments. Continuing to try to find some updates on this Joe Mixon situation. Second incident since the season ended that firearms and Joe Mixon keep getting brought together. It's not the first time we've seen this happen within sports or within some high-profile athletes. John Morant in the NBA. There's a big storyline that could be developing as we speak right now about the future of John Morant, the immediate future, not long-term, but maybe long-term, but immediate future could be in jeopardy for John Morant because of some decisions that he has made as of late. Joe Mixon's been in the headlines for similar things, although not so similar, but similar enough. We'll talk about all that when we come back. 518-1410. Kenner and Kev will be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Our forecast says it will be partly cloudy and 26 tonight. Chance of rain and 47 tomorrow, mostly sunny, 51 for Thursday. I'm Rick Schrepp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
College basketball frickin' heats up this year like never before. Frickers brings back a fan favorite, frickin' street tacos that add to the drama that the tournament provides. Frickin' chicken tacos, char-broiled chicken tacos, and Mississippi barbecue tacos. Frickers also scores with a 48-ounce personal pitcher of ice-cold domestic draft beer for only $6.50 all the games. Frickin' street tacos, $6.50 personal pitchers, nowhere else but the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
The Western Ohio Home Builders Association and ADT Solar present the Clark County Home and Garden Show, March 11th and 12th at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Springfield. Industry professionals will be on hand to discuss your indoor and outdoor renovation projects. Utility bills got you down? Learn about ways to save money by going solar or upgrading to geothermal heating. Come out to discuss these and all your home improvement projects at the Clark County Home and Garden Show. Tickets are $5. Children 12 and under are free. More information online at clarkcountyhomeshow.com.
At Menards, save big money with 11% off everything. Update your home with Great Lakes vinyl plank flooring. Heritage has a realistic wood grain look and is durable and waterproof to handle whatever life throws at it. It's easy to install and has added comfort with an attached pad. Heritage vinyl plank is only $329 a square foot after 11% rebate. Good through March 12th, savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Terry Krupp of Laird's Tax and Accounting, serving this area's tax and accounting needs for over 80 years. If you have concerns about your tax return, we invite you to discover how we can make your tax filing experience easier. If you had a difficult experience in the past, our professional staff can provide the accurate return you want with maximum use of all legitimate deductions. Laird's Tax and Accounting is a trusted name and stands behind your return if the IRS calls. Contact us at 937-325-6571. Information at lairdstax.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-497-9090. That's 800-497-9090. 800-497-9090.
Did you know that 3 Ohioans are diagnosed with oral cancer every day? Dentists are doctors of dental surgery and can recognize life-threatening conditions and treat oral diseases before they become serious health complications. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Folks, when you feed your dog, does he just stand there and look at you? Make your dog great again with premium foods from Homestead Feed and Supply. If it eats, we can feed it. 1833 North Dayton Lakeview Road, New Carlisle. Tell them the Colonel sent you.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 800-993-2150, 800-993-2150. Free bottles for limited time. So call now, 800-993-2150, 800-993-2150.
Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earn doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Attention business owners, if you are hearing my voice and have 5 or more W-2 employees, you may be entitled to a tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. OhioRefund.com helped a business owner with 23 employees, and they received a refund of over $375,000. To check your company's eligibility to receive this government-approved program of up to $26,000 per employee, visit OhioRefund.com. We have already secured millions of dollars for businesses just like yours. At OhioRefund.com, you will find out with no cost up front how much money your company will receive. Even if you got PPP money, you can still qualify. This is a payroll tax refund program approved by the United States Treasury Department for any business who kept employees on payroll during the pandemic. Best of all, these funds do not have to be paid back. Do not miss the opportunity to claim up to $26,000 per employee. Visit OhioRefund.com. OhioRefund.com. That's OhioRefund.com.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
The all-new Chevrolet of Troy is now open. What makes us different? We have a state-of-the-art dealership offering experienced service, parts, and body shop. In fact, we are the only dealership in Miami County with an on-site body shop. That makes it easy for you. With experienced, tenured professionals ready to answer your questions and diagnose your vehicle quickly and efficiently. Our priority is customer service. Make Chevrolet of Troy your first stop for service, parts, and body shop. 1375 South Market Street and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
United Rentals Spring Equipment Blowout is happening Thursday, March 23rd from 7 to 5. Skid steers, mini excavators, boom lifts, scissor lifts, forklifts, concrete tools, and more. Stop by United Rentals Spring Equipment Sale, March 23rd on Executive Boulevard in Huber Heights. And let's make a deal.
If you're a sports fan in the Miami Valley, make sure you subscribe to Dayton's ESPN Radio YouTube channel. Buckeyes, Browns, Bengals, local high school sports, Dayton Flyers, Wright State Raiders, and more. Search ESPN Dayton on YouTube and subscribe today.
Kidder and Kev back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Still looking for more updates regarding the Joe Mixon situation. This comes from SportsIllustrated.com's James Rapine, who's been on the show with us in the past. Again, we're live. We only have about a few more minutes before we hand it off to Ohio State. But real quick, this Joe Mixon situation, that the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office confirmed that Joe Mixon's property is part of a crime that took place on Monday evening in Anderson Township. A juvenile was transferred to Children's Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries after deputies responded to shots fired about 8:30 last night. Now, no arrests have been made, but deputies did reportedly enter Mixon's home early Tuesday morning. The investigation is ongoing. So there's that. And look, I get it. Joe Mixon technically has been arrested. Technically, he may not have done anything wrong, but like Kevin, it is weird. Like if this situation that happened closer towards the playoff run, that was weird, by the way. It does seem like the Bengals covered some stuff up because that police report was out during that week, that 2-week stretch, and then didn't come out until conveniently after the season ended. It did seem kind of odd. I'm surprised Moore didn't pick up on that, but it is interesting. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So I said that earlier. I know in both reports he hasn't been arrested and nothing's, but it just seems odd to have two of these types of incidences tie up to him. And it's also strange too. It's getting even more light and more attention because of, I think, much more severe stuff that's happening with John Morant over in the NBA.
Right. Like everything with Joe Mixon dating back to college situations. Once you've been involved with a situation like that, you should tread lightly on everything you do, because be it if the person called you a racial slur and that's why you struck them or whatever the case may be, the court of public opinion, you have more to lose than everybody else, especially financially. So whatever happened at this gathering at his home, this is why things like this don't happen with certain level of athlete and celebrity. Because the NDNAs and they're having private events as opposed to being all comforting and open arms to people and everything like that. That's why celebrities put up these type of roadblocks around them, and they have handlers around them to keep this type of thing from happening, because you as an individual can't control everything that happens around you. But if things happen around you and just say, for instance, it's not your fault, you're the person that they're going to look at because you're the famous person. You're the one that makes X amount of dollars. You're one of the most famous people in the state of Ohio. Right or wrong, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, and so now you look, tying this into a little bit, I know you and I were talking about this John Morant thing's kind of wild.
Yeah.
They're apparently within the handbook for them is if a gun is, if it's on you at all at any arena, in any line of work, practice or whatever, that's an automatic 50-game suspension. So this is not the first gun, not really allegation, but this is not the first story that's come out that guns have been, there's way too many there's about 3 or 4 different stories where John's just out with the gun, just waving it around. That again, just the gun stuff again, just coming up, that keeps popping up. And John Morant, a high-profile athlete, a guy, but it doesn't matter the level of an athlete that you are, but I do think it makes the story more prominent. We're talking about a guy that in the next 4 or 5 years, when LeBron James is out of the league, we're going to be looking for the next face of the NBA, and John Morant was that next big thing.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, some of that's being tainted a little bit with some of these off the court decisions. It's been interesting. Some of the things I forgot about, like with Carmelo Anthony, hearing Jalen Rose come out and speak on behalf of when he was young and immature and had all this money come his way. And then he was, in these types of situations too. It's been interesting hearing former athletes stand up to not defend. It's not defending. That's why I get tired of, Jalen Rose, stop defending. No one's defending anyone. They're just saying, hey, I have no clue what it's like. I mean, I have no clue what it's like to make money. I work here. All right. So let's just be clear. This situation's wild with John Morant.
It's crazy, and it's twofold for me. Obviously, the one fold is John Morant, the basketball player. You think about all the X amount of dollars that is headed your way with a max contract. You could be making up to $300 million on a contract. Let's talk about the Nike money that you could possibly be losing. You look at Kyrie Irving. His basketball sneaker was the #1 basketball selling sneaker. Every basketball team in high school that wore Nike wore Kyrie Irving's. Kyrie Irving's moved on from Nike, or they moved on from him. His shoe was about to be that shoe. So every kid that plays basketball in America was going to be wearing a John Morant shoe. You think about that money and all these opportunities that are going to be coming your way because you want to have guns and be involved with certain things. And then there's the flip side where my mind immediately went, you're playing with your life. Like, I know everybody wants to talk about, oh man, he's ruining his career. You're ruining this. Oh, you messing this up. You're messing with your life. Because trust and believe, when you're online on social media and flexing with your jewelry, you're flexing with your guns, the people that you maybe are trying to impress are going to test you. They're going to see if you really will bust your gun. You're in the club or a strip club, a nightclub with all your jewelry on and a water pistol gun. That was a 22. Like, I'm not trying to be funny and jokey and everything like that. But if you're going to be on social media trying to flex like you about that life and you about that action, you better be showing something more than a 22. Okay, people get shot with 22s and walk away. They get stitched up at the hospital or at the medical center and go home. Look, Ja, you are messing around. And you want to think about it from this situation. A famous rapper from the city that he plays for in Memphis was shot and killed picking up cookies on Sunday for his daughter. Think about that. Picking up cookies for his daughter, shot and killed. That can happen to you, Ja Morant. And then you talk about like the element that he's messing around with. You want to talk about people that get carjacked. You want to talk about people that get robbed in LA. Famous people. Drake's house has been robbed. Multiple rappers. Nipsey Hussle was killed in front of his store because they are involved in this element that Ja Morant apparently wants to be involved with. Like, it's nobody necessarily picking on him. It's not a white thing. It's not a black thing. You are creating this element around you. And all I can hope for Ja Morant is he matures. You talked about it, like Carmelo Anthony involved with the Don't Snitching video way back in his rookie year, or the things that Allen Iverson was involved with earlier in his career. Now, Allen Iverson is a global ambassador for basketball. Now, Carmelo Anthony is like the poster child for AAU fathers for his son and everything like that. Those are the figures that you want these guys to mature into. And I can only hope for Ja Morant and his daughter's sake, because he has a little daughter, his little sister's sake, and his father and mother's sake, that he matures and gets past this and is able to do the things that a Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson are able to do. Leave that silliness behind you and move forward, because this is just silly.
Yeah, and again, if this is the worst of that story, that's the best outcome of that story, considering how bad it could be. Because with the way this is trending, it's not going to be surprising if some horrific breaking news thing ever does come across the bottom.
You keep playing around with that type of stuff, it's going to find you.
Yep.
It's going to find you. You keep playing.
I mean, it popped up. I mean, you were waving it around on the Instagram live. Like, this isn't, there's hanging out with the bad crowd where the crowd your crowd gets busted and now you're there and it's just self-destructive. I mean, you are literally flaunting this gun on your social media.
Yeah.
With
millions and millions of followers. So you think that the NBA is not going to see that? You think the organization is not going to see that? And another thing, Ja is 24 years old. He's not going to the same nightclubs or events or parties that a LeBron James will be going to. LeBron James is going to cigar lounges and hanging out, drinking wine and hanging out, having dinner and things of that nature, because LeBron James is almost 40 years old. The places Ja Morant wants to go, super young people are going. He's going to the 18 and up club. You know what I'm saying? And that type of thing happens at the 18 and up club. The 18 and up club, violence happens. So, like I said before with the Joe Mixon thing, insulate yourself so you can stay away from that. And for his friends, people can call them hanger-oners or whatever. Look, man, if he go down, you go down too. Because you got to think, man, his friends are probably roughly the same age. They're not making good money at 24 years old.
Or they
ain't making job. He's footing the bill for everybody. So you, as a true friend or somebody that just wants to keep the gravy train going, you should be doing your part to keep him away from doing stupid stuff. If you want to continue to ride the free ride, you should be doing everything in your power to keep him away from doing stupid stuff like that.
Kenner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio. We do have Ohio State basketball coming up next. We're Dayton's radio home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, not just football, but basketball. Has not been a basketball season to remember, or at least for those who will remember this season. It won't be for all the right reasons. Chris Holtmann was kind of trending towards potentially his seat being boiling hot, but they were able to win a couple games down the stretch to maybe cool off some of the naysayers out there. But one thing that can cool off some of the hot seat conversations, well, a deep run into the Big Ten tournament. But unfortunately, there's not really a team that's ever been able to make a run to start on the first day of the tournament and win it all. So that's what Ohio State's going up against. But it's Ohio State, Wisconsin coming up, pregame coverage coming up on the other side of this little pause in the action. That wraps it up for us today. Until later in the week, this has been Kenner and Kev on 1410 ESPN Radio.